Welcome to Oz, aka welcome to probably a shitload of character death and a wild ride into literally the worst place to be on this planet. Name's Adam.
I'm Tech Priest, and with us today we have Imsit.
Hola, sus güeyes están listos para el chaos de esta aventura?
Unfortunately, it's going to probably be better and worse than anything in your imaginations because oh boy, the actual adventure hook for Chaos Factor, it's a ride. It is a ride. I actually made a point to read through it because of this.
Man, it is a fucking ride. Was I not right to say we needed to split this off?
You're
Yes.
completely correct. It's, you know, let's just. I'm going to show you the very first. I think I might have shown this in the previous stream, but I love this art of just the aftermath of taking down a Krynos form guru. Yeah,
This
that's not something to
with
fuck
the
with.
sunglasses and the funny edgy knife. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the 40k cornate knife.
Yeah.
That is a
You
cornate
forgot
knife.
about that, didn't you?
Oh my, yeah, you're right.
That feels like the cornate knife or like the pocket knife of a night lord.
Yeah. You know, the Geneva Conventions are a guideline on what to do for the Night Lords.
So
As in things to break. But yes.
So this is a wild ride. Mainly because this is the first multi-splat cross book, at least a serious one. They dabbled a bit with it with stuff like New Orleans
Dirty
by
Secrets
Night,
of the Black Hand.
that piece of shit.
Yeah, Dirty Secrets of the Black Hand, where it's like it has some of the things that you love the most about Vampire in it are there for the first time, like the Naharaja and the old clan Shamaze and the True Bruja. Three things you liked, and then you found out that they're
Well,
all
no,
from
a lot of
Chaos
people
Factor.
don't like True Bruja, and I don't like their attitude completely, mainly just because they're kind of too tied to the Tali Mera. Old Clan Samasei, though, is really good, as is the Nagaraja, because it adds a nice little flavor that you don't usually see. But then they made the normal Zamichi fucking parasites of the thing. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, why not? Because it's Old World of Darkness, and we needed something weird. The writers fled with checks in hand. I think we called our episode on that.
It did. Speaking of fleeing with checks in hand, have you seen the new gay romance that they're making for Vampire 5th?
They already did a romance book. It's called Strange Dead Love. It's a weird book. I still think it's a good book and worth your time if you're interested in such a thing.
I don't think it's going to work, though, for 5th edition because they forgot the part where it's the blood that matters.
Yeah, and they say, well, the blood is always warring with that, and the kiss is the most intimate thing of all. It's like the thing that they stress about vampire romance in that book. But like, bruh.
No, that's just the easiest access point.
But still, like, bruh, like.
That's what happens
are you
when.
Fucking serious?
That's what happens when you accidentally think yourselves as superheroes. Either that or cyberpunks being gay doing crime. I mean, don't get me wrong, a vampire romance kind of works because that's a predation tactic that they use. It's just. You gotta remember you're not really dealing with people anymore. I mean, you kind of are. They still feel, they still have emotions, but they're monsters.
At the same time, a game that's just entirely a sitcom but with vampires, that actually would be fun to play.
There was a fun movie concept I remember that did that, where there was like a bunch of vampires that were in the same house.
What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, What We Do in the Shadows. That one played with that.
What We Do in the Shadows is a fantastic movie, and I recommend you go and find it and watch it. It is.
Yeah, it plays around with a bunch of them. You got the essentially the classic Bram Stoker. You have the bootleg, which is the Nosferatu Count Orlok. You have an Anne Rice style vampire, but with the name filed off because she's very litigious.
There's a lot of
TV show.
It is also a TV show. They did a TV show version of it as well. But but the original one was a movie. It is a good movie. I recommend you see it. It has some of the best like one-liners I've ever heard in a vampire movie. In terms of like just weirdly comedic.
It
We're
also
werewolves, not swearwolves, for example.
it also can help you as a storyteller if you don't really know exactly how you might want a coterie to have a dynamic.
It's a great movie for that. It's a great movie for like, how do I make a world of supernatural seem like a little weird, but not like too weird? And it kind of nails that. It has like a bit about like they have their one human guy named Stu that helps them set up things like how do we dress ourselves in a mirror? Well, we can't use a mirror, so he sets up a camera for them so that they can look at themselves in the digital camera to dress up to go out at night,
The
things like
problem
that.
is that would not work for a Lasombra. They've tried
It would
that.
not work for Lasombra, but it's an idea. Um,
But
there's a few
yeah,
other things.
speaking of Mad Cappery, this is a really big multi-cross because this is designed for 3 different splats, and it's
Four,
kind. Oh yeah, fourth. There is a fourth one.
because there's Wraith. There's Wraith in this as well.
They do have a couple of Wraith characters. Mictlan comes to mind. There's also the Dead Bride, which is one.
Yeah, they again, as I said, you could easily tie in Wraith to this, which I think is the dumbest fucking shit.
It's a shame they didn't think, hey, if you have a Wraith player, this could be an amazing chronicle for them to be thrown in.
If I was a Wraith player and then someone was like, yeah, you want to play like something else? Like, yeah, I got this adventure and it's gonna be great. And it's
Or
like,
maybe it's
okay,
just you don't have a gaming group because no one plays Wraith. Let's be fair.
yeah,
Let's be fair.
let's be fair. And then you return to this shit. I want to say that whoever experienced that, if you're watching this, I am feeling really fucking sorry for you because I do not expect that it turned out well.
Oh, no, I think it turned out amazingly well. In the awe-inspiring, in the bad way sense. You know, the original term for awe-inspiring, as in watching a car crash or the Hindenburg exploding.
Just the shitty Elmo puppet with the fire behind it. Kind of that's the feeling I'm getting out of this.
Oh, yeah, especially since this is so the basic plot, you have to actually run this by a calendar clock. This is not like the Rage Across the Amazon story that we read. There is no timepiece. There's no kind of bullshit time. It is legitimately a case of you have to follow this by the number because that is how sensitive things are.
It's also look, the thing about the Rage Against the Amazon thing is that while the time limit doesn't really matter, they basically have it set up so that no matter what you do, the adventure goes on, which is one way to handle it. And then there's this way to handle it, which is much worse in my opinion. Much worse.
It's much more old school in terms of output. This is something that Gary Gygax, for example, would have done.
It's like the Gary Gygax on crack.
True, since
And
even
it's
old
not
school gamers are supposed to not necessarily fudge heavily, but you keep it
but
in
like old
mind.
school
But
GMs are supposed to be able to fudge things if needed. Like that's half the thing about like old D&D. The reason why it works is because you're supposed to eyeball it. You're not supposed to get into like the most artistic minutia. If you're the GM, if you're the players, yes, get into that autistic minutia. Bring your 5,000 feet of rope and your 20 chickens
mainly
and whatever else.
because the job of the GM in those editions are they're going to come at you full bar, no punches held. You're gonna need it.
Yeah,
They want
so
you to
yes,
succeed,
come up
but
with
they're
your
gonna
clever. They
pay
want
their.
yeah, they want you to come up with the clever ideas. They want you to come up with a way to use the 10-foot pole.
But if you're stupid, they're also just as happy just wiping you.
Yeah, and this is going to wipe you, and it's not in a fun way either.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
specifically say
There's a
that
big warning.
it can be exceedingly deadly. Foolish players won't last through the first night. They do also
Yeah.
recommend that you have a healer that deals aggravated damage.
Which is saying a lot because that's actually quite difficult to find. I mean, not so much
And
since you're playing around with mages. Life Sphere can do a lot of cool things if you know what you're doing.
and
But
to have
still.
yeah, and to have intervention, either by ghosts, friendly group, paradox spirits, but not to aid you, just that they're coming after the other guys. As in, if the party is about to be completely fucked, throw something else at the enemy and hope that they take it as bait.
Also, reality, they openly say reality is gonna break down. Which,
Drama, suspense, and good judgment rule the day. Well, the good judgment would be not playing this fucking book.
oh god, no. Oh god, no.
What-
We haven't even gotten to the best part where they get to go to where the event Horizon went during its initial maiden tour.
Yeah, so part 1 is the countdown to extinction, which is days 1 and 2 of the Days of the Dead.
You know, the
The Day
ones
of the
where you're
Orphaned
gonna die.
Souls, and the Day of the Unpardoned Souls. Samuel Haight reaches Mexico City, intent on locating and awakening what he mistakenly believes to be an antediluvian. As usual, Haight brings several agents and employs them in random attacks to spur the awakening of Mexico City into a furor. The Skinner tracks down and locates the false haven of the Methuselah, deep within the bowels of the underbelly of the worm. While chaos builds in the city, opportunities for introducing the player characters are presented if they don't already live in Mexico City. Additionally, a section at the end covers what happens in the city if the player characters do not become involved. The troop arrives too late. By the time they reach the Methuselah's false lair, Sam Haight is gone. Clues left in the area tell the troop where he is gone and could allow them to build a trap for the Skinner's return. Events in Mexico City grow more desperate. The troop is introduced to several potential allies. Should they trust them, or will the allies betray them to Haight, or something even worse?
So, there's already a few narrative problems, but some of it is legitimately just kind of inbuilt into Hate's character by this point. Yes, Hate is more than willing to dispose of people by sending them as trash to be getting rid of, but usually he's at least a little smarter about picking a fight with the entire fucking city.
Oh, and part
Then
two
again, this is his
is
swan song, and he kind of knows he's fucked. So I guess it makes sense from a story point of view.
so part 2, Vacation, which is day 3 of the Days of the Dead, Day of the Dead Children,
Yeah, you're probably
Sam
not
Haight
making here. You're probably not going to make it to this point.
journeys to Jordan, tracking his trail of clues to Petra and encountering and escaping the powerful forces that control the area. Players will run a gauntlet of vampiric enemies and the sinister leader of Petra, Balak, along with his minions in the Mossad.
Oh no. Because what?
Israeli vampires. Why the fuck not?
Not just Israeli vampires, but it's almost certain they're going to be Assamite. You know, the ones that can basically kill you without
Wow.
you knowing that they're there.
Wow. I'm just.
Oh, so then they're not Mossad.
Well, I mean, if they want to
Well,
make an example,
well,
you could do the
half and
same
half.
thing. Well, no, you could do the same thing with with a high obfuscate, high potence Nosferatu. That sends the same message. Actually, that would make a bitching idea for a cartel in Chronicles of Darkness, Mexico. Like you find out that the head is actually a particularly cunning Nosferatu. That's a good idea. Write that down.
Write that down. Write that down.
And then
So
that was just chapter 1.
Watch
Yep,
your
chapter
microphone,
2.
by the way.
Good.
Sorry.
Not yours, Imsets. It's starting to emit static.
Shit. Hold on.
But yeah, Chaos Squared, because yeah, it's not bad enough that you had to go on a globe-spanning journey. Because that's the thing, you have to have scrambled the resources to make it to Jordan. Now, admittedly, this is in the 1990s air flights, which means you can do it quicker than normal. But on short notice and depending
Yeah,
on what
it's
your
still-
characters have, how?
A good question to this one is how? How are you actually doing this?
Now I know
Part 3,
why.
Chaos
No,
Square,
no,
Day 4.
I know why they want you to go to Jordan, because they already hinted. I spoiled it. Hoochie Pootsie is a Bali vampire. He came from the Levant. Sorry, we kind of let the demon out of the bag early on in episode 1 of this two-parter.
Also in the Sam Haight bit, but point being, yeah, that's why you're going to Jordan, because you need to find the ancient secrets of this fucking vampire.
Anyway, Chaos Squared. So he comes back to Mexico City.
And the Wraiths are upset.
Yeah, he found a way to piss off all the ghosts.
Wouldn't they be?
It's the Wraiths, the Sabbat, the Technocracy are trying to deal with the dead,
The players and each other.
And you must deal with all the offending parties while the Guru gather for a moot in preparation for the Rite of the Dead.
Yeah, that's
Mages
not
from the
good.
Thanatos, Uktana and Bonar Garu, the Samdi, and the Giovanni enter the city to perform powerful rites, and a surprise visit from the Marauders wreaks havoc on the city.
So
Part 4, Chaos Cubed.
let's be fair. Let's be fair. You're probably already dead in Countdown to Extinction. Well, actually,
So
you
you're
might
playing it.
survive that. You might survive that.
You're probably dead by Chaos Squared. Like,
Yeah.
let's be
Wait,
fair.
I have an idea. This is how you get people to play a Wraith game.
Oh, that could be a fun shitpost where your character dies and they become a wraith.
It's like, well,
Oh,
now you,
wow.
That's a
well,
cool
now
idea.
you're in Mexico City.
No, that's a fun little gimmick. It gives you a chance to play the character one last time. Although you would have to come up with a shadow and everything, but you could do some interesting stuff. I mean, the only problem is when vampires face second death, they basically face oblivion, like instant oblivion.
Oh, they don't go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't
Well,
make
then you're
wraiths.
playing as
Yeah.
you are playing as what's the opposite of the Wraith?
No, you're just gone. Like there's nothing left.
You're just gone. Yeah.
Oh, you don't play
You're
as the
you're
things that
That
cause
is
the
dead.
oblivion.
Kane's greatest curse.
You're just dead.
That is Kane's greatest curse.
There's no redemption, nothing else. You're dead. You go beyond whatever the underworld is. Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, you can't play Wraith then.
Well, technically, you might be able to bullshit an excuse if you play a Guru character and they die. You might be
No, I
able
got
to
it.
bullshit that.
Paradox. Paradox.
I mean, yeah, there's enough mages, and once the Marauders come in, I think it's fair that you come back from the dead.
Yeah.
Let's be fair, that could be a fun shitpost for vampires. So I can definitely tell Phil Mercado intentionally commissioned this one.
This was not Phil,
Oh.
actually. This is.
No, he
What
didn't
the
draw
fuck
it.
is
He
don't even know what that
commissioned it.
is.
He commissioned it.
I don't even know what that is.
Well, it's clear.
Anyway,
It's clearly Shiva
Getting the
from Mortal
characters
Kombat.
involved.
I think it's some sort of Zemitzi creation.
No, she's Shiva from Mortal Kombat.
Anyway,
I'm pretty sure it could be a Formorian. Let's be fair.
let's take a look at this.
Well, the Chaos Cubed. Sam Hyde has left the city, trying to find the ancient vampire. The characters arrive before him. Will they arrive too late to stop him? Will the kindred want to diabolarize one of the most powerful kindred in the world's darkness?
I mean,
The
let's be
truth about
fair.
Hootsie is last revealed.
Yeah.
Like
And
that is
what will the
tempting.
final fate of Sam Hyde?
That is tempting, by the way. Hootsie Pootsie is an extremely powerful. We'll get into him. So yeah, how do you get these characters involved? So mages. They basically explain that Sam has already kind of fucked over a couple of the traditions. The Uktena despise him because this motherfucker somehow managed to steal a node. You know that staff
Uktena?
he's carrying around? Yeah, that's a node of pure fuck you magic.
It is.
Wait,
Anyone with ties to the
Uktena
Dream
or-
Speakers, the Verbena will want his head on a platter for only the sake of revenge.
Verbena,
The
not
fact that he's
Uktena.
unpredictable.
Sorry, brain damage.
The fact that he's unpredictable and a very obvious threat to Awakened should be enough to force any mage's hand. I mean,
Especially since he's stolen a node. Like,
yeah, he's stolen a very powerful artifact. Like, what would stop? And also, even the technocracy is like, oh fuck, because yes, he has damaged the traditions, but who's to say that he's not going to try to do the same fucking shit to them?
Also, there's the interest in taking that staff. That could be a very interesting device to convert, use as a power source. I mean, let's say I'm a Iteration X is I forget what each of them specialize in, but I know Iteration X is the one in control. What's their big specialty again?
Iteration X is the super technology guys.
Well, wouldn't
The
it make sense to
cyborgs.
use that to essentially distill power packs for their beta testing? I mean, it's quintessence 1,000. That's a lot of energy to store.
It's something.
I do like
that's
how
just from
they
my
would
point of
render
view.
it as just a. They'd render this powerful artifact as just a battery.
Well,
I mean,
somewhat
they
yeah.
could also just integrate it into their own system as well. There is a benefit to just taking it from him. And that's not even including that you might just want him dead because he has picked fights with every Awakened. Also, reminder, he did kind of kill El Dorado.
Yeah, he kind of did do that. There's that. The thing that you probably would be like, oh, yeah, that's a bad thing that he did. Why the fuck did you not think of that like immediately?
I mean,
Like,
if
oh
you
yeah,
took out El Dorado, that's not quite Archmage level power, but El Dorado ran a pocket dimension. That
yeah.
is intense power.
It's also,
Now,
he's a powerful dream speaker, all that.
now the Kindred, they initially have no harsh feelings towards Sam.
I mean, he's
Did
helped them a
help the
couple
Sabbat.
times actually.
He's helped the Camarilla. However, he also a decreased lupine population, warned the vampires in times of need. However, there are several rumors that he's killed Kindred. No one has been able to blood bond him. And do remember, he helped the Sabbat and the Camarilla. So each side would want to kill him.
Well, there's also the if a vampire has a clue on what the hell he's trying to do, and let's be
Yeah,
fair,
he wants to awaken an antediluvian. Let
and
me let me repeat this. Sam wants to wake up an antediluvian to eat them.
also let's be fair, he has done attempted he has attempted to steal the powers of Kindred before. And on top of that, even if they don't know that, he's stolen both powers from the Guru and from the Awakened, the Ascended, the mages. What's to stop him from doing the same shit to them? Vampires are naturally paranoid, so they probably wouldn't trust him as far as they could. Well, I can't say throw him because potents, but they would probably trust
And
him
then
even less than they do their own.
the Guru.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
kill on sight.
he's a skin dancer. Work with the black spirals. Kill him.
Skin
Just
dancers are
kill him.
basically just black spiral dancers, as far as they're concerned. Because to give you an idea, the ritual naturally is worm tainted. It is a
It's
natural.
not naturally worm tainted. It can be not worm tainted. The problem is that taking any of the skins by force makes it worm tainted.
And there's almost no way in hell that a guru will let them do that. I mean,
That 5 guru will let someone else become a guru that is not already one.
I
Like
mean,
you
you can
there's
maybe
there
get away with
we've
it if you fight them to the death and they lose. That'd be
and
the
it's
only way.
agreed ahead of time.
Yeah.
That'd be one way. I mean, that would be something that maybe like the Get would do, but it's still not what I would call likely,
Oh hell no.
and it's still not
Because
what I
their
would
remains are
call
sacred. That's the other thing. Their
yeah.
remains are sacred. To give you an idea, it is a very hard check to hold in rage. And this is actually something Sam does in his first book. Is he intentionally taxidermies a few guru in a variety of forms just to play mind games with the players.
Yeah. He's he's a dick.
Uh,
Um
so they also bring up relationships between the various factions if you're doing, I guess, a multi-splat game.
And also, like, if you're running one splat, what do these guys think of these guys? So Garu and Mage relationships. The Verbena and the Dream Speakers and the Black Furies have all worked together before. Bone Gnars sometimes get along with Hollow Ones, which is just like I don't even understand that. The Hollow Ones are literally the nihilist, like the goth kids of mages, and I fucking hate them.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah, but also everyone hates the Bone Gnars.
Yeah, but
They're
for
the
a very
trash.
different reason.
They're the trash.
Yeah, the Hollow Ones are just literally like, oh, I'm so edgy and independent, but I'm a traditionalist, but not one of the technocracy, and I don't care about anything. And it's just like,
I mean,
fuck off.
the Bone Gnars don't care.
The Bone Gnars
So.
care about a lot of shit. Like that's the whole point of why they're Bone Gnars. Like you cannot be a Bone Gnar if you don't give a shit about people around you. Like that's half the reason why they're even a tribe. Is that they're the werewolves that decided, you know what, fuck it, this humanity thing ain't too bad.
Just got to prevent them from destroying themselves by getting too deep into the worm's clutches. That's kind of their thing.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why.
Not really.
and
Hollow
even
Ones
then,
are just out of all of the traditions and Technocracy Inc. aspects, it makes no sense to me.
yeah, like
Well,
I can understand the Dream Speakers having a good relationship with certain werewolf tribes, like the Uktena. Like they're both focused on spirits. They're both very commonly working with stuff like that. They're not. They're not going to be at cross purposes with each other most of the time. Doesn't mean that they can't be. Just means that most of the time they won't be.
Yeah, they have their own spheres usually. Ha ha
I
ha.
do like what they say for Garou and kindred relations. They just don't get along.
Yeah,
They're not going to.
Yeah, that's just how it is. They do mention though in the Bodenauer's book that, for example, that the Nosferatu and the Bodenauers sort of get along, but that's more because it's like they're both the outcasts of their respective societies. They both live in very similar areas, and they both really don't see the point in fighting each other.
basically at its
As
core,
long as
vampires seem come off as worm tainted because it's essentially a destructive.
yeah,
They're destructive monsters that are only held back by the echoes of humanity they once had, or by their strict code that they form over centuries.
Well, I have an interesting crossover then. Uh, Virtual Adepts, Glasswalkers, Nosferatu, traveling in the Shreknet.
That actually sounds really fun.
that sounds fun. That does sound really fun. But yeah, so early signs of the storm. I want to know that they quote Faith No More's "Crack Hitler."
Yeah,
I'm sorry, that's just so fucking stupid.
That's the first time I've seen those two words together.
Crack and Hitler?
Yeah.
All right, all right. Let me just give you an idea about this right here. They literally create different preludes for different ways you can come into this adventure.
yep. It starts with the Guru one, which makes sense because height's kind of the
Yeah.
big one that they'd go after. It's entirely possible if you've had a long-running character in a campaign slash chronicle, you might still be running with one of the pack members from the original Valkenburg Foundation books.
Yeah.
You could easily,
And
especially if
they
you have one of them kicking around, like that character wasn't killed. This would be an excellent character to bring in. They have a invested interest, especially if they also survived Rage Across the Amazon.
yeah.
They do.
It's
They
also
do.
uh there's also ties into like the Pure Heart Sept the which I think is the one from Valkenburg. There's a few other ones. There's a few other kind of like kindred that you could be working with, and Moonbridge access where you can just instantly kill your entire party if they try to open a Moonbridge into the Mexico City, which will go right to the underbelly of the worm and rip the entire party.
Well, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, that's kind of dickish.
That is kind of horseshit.
I want to bring up a few things from the prelude. They reference the possibility or the fear of the last thing anyone needs is the dancers learning from hate, and that they found
But
in Los Angeles after a recent earthquake, the skinned remains of over 20 Garu. He's killed at least 20.
no, at least 25
Possibly.
because he need at least 25 because he needed 5 for his original ritual. And likely more.
Anyone help any new players that are just starting with this?
No. What's gonna happen is you're a new player, so you're gonna be, hey, let's use the Moonbridge. Oh no, we have such sights to show. Dead.
Dead. You know, the most
So
logical thing to do, which is let's just take a Moonbridge to Mexico City, just kills the entire party
Yep.
because
so the mages, uh, again, they just talk about.
they have their own reasons. They want to
Yeah.
capture him. They want to kill him. He's apparently killed some other dream speakers at the Orphan Chantry in California.
Killed 4
And
orphans.
Oh yeah, that's the
yep,
that's the really stupid one where he was already working with Black Spiral Dancers, thus making the Guru intro even stupider.
yep. Also, the Men in Black are possibly going to be after you during this entire adventure.
I mean, it makes sense. They're
Which,
basically disposables on purpose.
yeah. And then there's vampires stuff, which is much simpler. Any of you know about Samuel Haight? Yeah, well, listen, I hear he's going down to Mexico City. I hear he knows where Antediluvian is resting. No, he ain't gonna kill the ancient. He's gonna make friends with it. No, I'm serious. He says he wants to get some of its blood just so he can stay young. No, he doesn't want the embrace. Says it could kill him. Well, he deals like this. He wants help along the way. He wants someone to cover his ass while he's doing all the dirty work. Well, who's to say that we let him have all the fun? Me? Well, let's just say I'm not above a little late night snack. Hell yes, I'll join him. Sabbat characters have it pretty easy because he's just going into Sabbat territory, so you could literally just join up with him and be like, "Yeah, we're gonna help you," and then backstab him at the last minute to try to Diablerize, the
Hootsie Bootsy.
fucking sleeping giant. Yeah, why not?
Let's just call him Hootsie Pootsy
What's
because we're gonna screw up the Nahuatl pronunciation.
what's funny?
Yeah.
It says Hate is ignorant of the Anarch Free States.
Well, yeah,
I
they're
how?
relatively minor-ish, but that doesn't
No,
make sense. He was in
despite
California. He was in
despite everything he
California.
knows, he does not know about the Anarchs.
I mean, it makes kind of sense since a character can't know everything, but really? They will
Then
only
and then
respond to
the
counters
next
to
is
Sabat while in their territory. Counters will be invited along to wreak havoc. So so this is another problem with the prelude. They're kind of convinced that the vampires would be working directly with Hate, just to start with.
Oh, here's another thing. Look at the timeline of this thing.
Oh yeah, let's take a look at this. This is the timeline that you have to strictly follow.
You have to strictly follow this. So October 2nd, he entered, killed the orphan chantry in California. Energies the node were absorbed into his staff for the next 3 days, which is why he has all that power in that staff now, I guess. And then he destroys the chantry, encounters the kinfolk, kills him. He goes to Mexico City 17 days later, and then it starts out with him bombing the city.
Yeah, I mean, he just has that preemptively available and ready.
The next day after he writes, what the fuck is happening?
Reminder that this character originally actually made perfect and total logical sense. That's the funniest part about it.
Yes, it is. So, the second underbelly, he enters the underbelly of the worm. Minions of Pandemonium are outraged by the invasion of their secret domain. He then leaves Mexico City, co-locating to Jordan, so he teleports there using magic. While there, he encounters several strange mages who lead him on his way to Paristo Vista. The troop, if they follow, encounter the first of the mages of Al Durab, then the forces of Petra. He then returns to Mexico City
Petra's
on
still
Halloween.
intact in a hidden way? Okay.
Okay, fine, whatever. The thing is, the technocracy decree calls for a purge of all supernaturals in Mexico City, which means that the Sabbat and the technocracy are engaging each other in fucking combat. The dead rise to defend their families from both groups, and the Garu are caught in the middle. Kindred tradition mages and Garu come to the city from various points around the world for their own reasons. So just clusterfuck, more clusterfuck.
They're really leaning hard on the Zapatista revolts, which did not actually make it to Mexico City, but okay.
Yeah, okay. Northern Mexico City continues. The Guru of Mexico City from the right of the dead, ripping the wraiths of Mexico City away from the world of the living. The Sabbat raid population increases threefold. What?
Oh yeah, they just make a shitload of shovelheads to take on the technocracy.
I mean, even then, like, holy shit. Because the technocracy should be icing them left and right. So how many people just got embraced?
I mean, they think 200 vampires in the city, so
200. So assume that about half of them. So like 100 vampires just embraced about 500 people.
Well, no. Think about it like this. This is also ignoring the nukes from above from Iteration X, just using their computer technology to just scry and die them. Yeah, so it actually might be. They might have run through a couple of dozen vampires, several dozen vampires.
Yeah, several dozen vampires that are surviving all this shit have suddenly created hundreds upon hundreds of their fucking children.
I imagine we're talking deaths of the vampires in the hundreds.
Yeah, as I said, like 100 dead. Like this is so fucking stupid.
Are you sure we're not reading one of the Proto Gehenna scenarios? This feels like a Proto Gehenna scenario.
How would this not be noticed by the general public? What the fuck?
Yeah, this is pretty. This is pretty brain dead. This is making my first time as a storyteller look smart. And I had a vampire with a mortar shell my fucking coterie.
Yeah, so this is then the next day is that the war is going to keep going on and only Pentex is the winner, which makes okay.
It makes
Uh,
kind of sense, but whatever. Blah.
whatever. Hate has never feared Kindred. Kindred of New Orleans might be there. So then they give you the timeline for the day.
Yeah, this is
Buildings will
So
pretty
explode
stupid.
12 a.m.
will yeah, will
through
explode 1
11.
minute after you may arrive.
1 minute after you probably arrive.
Oh no, actually
Um,
no, it's in the afternoon.
midnight through 11 o'clock. You're arriving. So you're arriving in the morning. Then the second afternoon, buildings of the city explode and come to fire. The technocracy 15 minutes later comes into action and starts to try to figure out what's going on.
Oh
And the
please, they'd have
Garou are
figured
believed
it out
responsible.
sooner. 14-minute
Then
response time. Come on.
it's the technocracy. They've got at least the paperwork. Come on.
Oh, they can just beta test that out.
Several explosions destroy all the major power plants in Mexico City.
I
Oh,
don't
so
recall this happening in 1994.
how many people are
Then the
gonna
Kindred
die?
of Mexico City awaken at 6:35 p.m. And believe the bombs were meant for them. They are not happy. The night begins.
So all of the major power plants in Mexico City, huh?
All
Okay.
of them explode.
Um, no. This is actually
Uh,
dumber than Rage Across the Amazon hate, which I remember detesting quite a bit.
so
By the
Mexico
way,
City.
Hate probably has a body count higher than the people who did who ran the run at the towers because those hospitals lost electricity.
Oh,
Yep,
I'm going by the end of this night, at least 1 million are dead. Or by the end of this scenario.
Uh, in
probably.
the initial bombings, I'm going to say a few thousand. Actually, power plants, those usually have a few hundred work. So just from the bombs alone, that's like probably a couple thousand because Mexico City is a large developed area and the Valley of Mexico is extremely densely populated.
So there's
A
gonna be a lot of fucking power plants in the
few
area.
hundred
Yeah.
Well,
more dead from the inhalation, and then a few thousand dead from the hospital.
let's not forget, this is supposed to take place like what, 1999, 98?
93, 93,
Oh,
94.
90.
Yes, this is
Well, this
during the
fucks.
Zapatista revolts, but no, in this timeline, if that happened, Mexico would be on complete lockdown. They would have gone completely to Dirty War 2.0
Dirty War 2.0,
because this is
NAFTA
at the ass
may or
end
may not
of.
be dead.
Oh, it probably is.
Just,
At least initially. Also, the peso crisis just
uh,
kicks in then. Uh, now it is supposed to be a darker and more gothic world, as described repeatedly. Uh, Yeah, no, there's a certain level that you can get away with. This is about an order of
uh,
magnitude too much.
let's see what. We're getting that migrant crisis about a decade early. Uh, because holy shit, are people going to be fleeing the country?
You're not
Uh,
wrong. You're not wrong if they actually played it correctly.
and actually, no, I'm gonna be. This would actually be the end of the 20th century instead of 9/11. Because the only way that this could be covered is a massive terrorist attack happened in Mexico.
Also, I'm gonna be real. This would be the first. I would actually have the Second Inquisition kick in because of this. I would have started the
Yeah,
Second Inquisition
there's
here.
there's zero reasons why that wouldn't kick off. Like
Actually, what the
holy
hell was the
shit.
Society of Leopold doing at this point?
They're probably going absolutely batshit.
That's something. Haven't you noticed they forgot about them in Chaos
Yeah, they kind of
Factor?
forgot about them. They're kind of important. Yeah. So let's move on to this shitty art and into the
That's got to
actual
be Sam
adventure.
Haight, right?
I think it's supposed to be Sam Haight, but I have no fucking
What
idea.
what's behind him?
Those could be wraiths very angry at him. I suspect this
I mean,
is
they're all
an
the same
image of
face,
him
though.
cutting his way through the underbelly, though. This is probably him trying to go for Hootsie's fake tomb.
And we start with Lears and Wait, Empire, and the Rolling Stones' "Gimme Shelter" as our musical quotes.
Liars and wait, right? No, Lear's and wait. I thought, maybe they misspelled. Who cares? Point being, countdown to extinction. Day 1. From the first moment in Mexico City, Hate's only goal is to locate Huitzilopochtli. He believes that the ancient kindred is asleep within the ruins of an Aztec pyramid, as all of his evidence leads to a powerful source that controls the city. He's also a little bit worried that the idea that waking this thing up is kind of shit, but his, immortality is better than
Especially
dying.
since he's picked so many fights with so many people already. He's
Because now he wants to just genocide all werewolves, because that makes sense, I guess.
EWD?
yeah, that's the other
Kinda,
thing.
yeah.
TGD then.
TGD, Total Guru Death. That is now his entire plan.
Which is a little weird
Oh wait,
because
he's got Rue.
yeah,
Yeah.
actually, I remember complaining about this when we went through his when we went through his basically character arc. I always thought it made more sense if he tried to make his own tribe.
Well, he is, but now he wants to just kill that tribe too, I guess.
I'm just gonna kill everybody.
There's a
Just
reason Werewolf's 20th anniversary edition had Skinner, and it was a lot better than what we're about to fucking read.
Skinner is
No,
actually a
wait.
genuinely good adventure.
Wait, I got it. Hate ended up seeing the future and realized that Werewolf 5th edition will exist, and he wants to end this franchise before that can ever come about.
Why?
Werewolf
Werewolf 5th
is
edition was the least bad of the 5th edition books so far.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Like holy
It's
shit, it's a lot better
obnoxious
than.
and it has a lot of stupid things in it, but it's not
offensive.
it's not
Like,
thin blood alchemy vampire. It's not binding all of the dead-looking clans together into a new super clan out of stupidity. It's
I just
it's
don't want to
not
make 10
it's
clans.
not the elder vampires just deciding to get up and Naruto run their way towards Jerusalem to fight some unseen threat. It's not we need to stop the normals from kink shaming us, as the Second Inquisition is basically that. It's not Mage, where they decided to where they
We
decided
don't know
to.
yet.
Yeah, I forgot they haven't done Mage yet.
It's not Hunter, where everything is now makes no sense, and we just ripped off Vigil, but did it badly.
No, it's not. It's not just Hunter, which is just ripping off the worst aspects of Hunter's Hunted and then splicing it with Vigil. It's not. Hey, all of the traditional hunters, we hate them because they probably voted for the wrong political party.
It's like
remember
Hunter the
this?
Reckoning was already fucking stupid, kind
It's
of
bad.
like
It was already pretty bad.
Well,
it was already bad, but like
remember this. Human red talons.
I mean, I would rebuke with AIDS dog and the desire to kill people that you hate in real life in the game in a form of sick psychosis, but
look,
yeah.
human red talons is stupid, but it's not the worst thing. If you change them to be more like the Predator Kings, which they did, because that's the whole thing that they took that whole aspect out of. The Predator Kings were literally a translation of the Red Talons into New Werewolf.
Yeah, no. And
Right, well-
this is why.
well,
Because they're
for
stealing
whatever-
from Forsaken because they can't have ideas of their own.
Well, yes, as I already
Well,
said,
for-
they are just stealing from Forsaken.
Well, for whatever reason, Hate just wants to end everything, and he's going to start by causing a diversion.
Wait, did Hate become one of the hollow ones?
I am miserable and I wish for my existence to end. Because that's
So-
like the only thing that can happen, man.
So
Fuck
here's
off.
Hate's
Hey,
plan.
Male
He wants
Black
to get
Furies isn't
all
as
of-
stupid as turning one of the traditions all into women. That was pretty brain dead too.
Wait, what?
That happened, yeah.
What?
What?
Yeah.
What? Are they fucking serious? Are they turning the Verbena all women?
No, I think it was like, oh god, what were they called? It's like one of the, oh man, I forget which one it was.
Oh, I think you're referring to the change of the Sons of the Ether to Society of Ether.
Yeah, I think that might be it.
They didn't turn them all into women. They just removed the and actually funny in universe they made it. Well, this is kind of a holdover from the actual
The
like
technocracy?
adventure, the technocracies and that era of Victorian adventures.
Victorian adventurer stuff. So society makes more sense at this point.
Yeah,
because it's
they
more
actually
accurate.
In universe, that was the explanation.
Which
I mean,
isn't a bad explanation.
That's a good explanation. It's just the examples they gave were comical, if I recall.
Yeah.
So back onto Hate's brilliant plan to cause a
For
diversion
for
to get all the
TGD.
supernaturals. Well, no, for all the supernaturals to start murdering each other. So he has
How
agents.
does he know that this will make all the supernatural start murdering each other?
Because the
I don't
plot
know, but
told him to.
here's the plan. Actually, no, this makes sense. That Hate met Phil Bricado, and Phil told him all of this.
No, what happened was Hate decided to look into the node, and the node told him this is what he had to do. They did mention he
So,
tried to read his future, so maybe?
so early in the morning
It's
of October
stupid, but at
27th,
least that gives him a reason.
so minions planted explosives in a dozen separate sections of the city. The next day, the explosions rocked the city. The main railway station, Monumento a la Revolución, Diego Rivera Museum,
Yeah, there's no way.
Santo Tomas de Villanueva, the Cortes Hotel, and the Templo de la Santísima are all targeted for bombs,
There's
as
no
are
fucking
dozens
way.
of havens of kindred. None of them cause irreparable damage, but the
This
attention
would kill like thousands of people.
Yeah.
they're bombing the rail. And how are they not found? The bombs are planted there a day before.
Now, to be fair, you could actually pretty easily bribe the police. In this time period, corruption was even worse in Mexican law enforcement and the army.
Yeah,
But
you just say you're just leaving a
even
packet for someone to pick up. Here's $50 to fuck off.
even
But
then,
even then,
some of these are critical, like monuments to the to Mexico itself. That's not happening. The train station, sure, I can believe that.
maybe,
Sneaking
maybe.
in something in the museum or one of the big hotels. Oh yeah, I could see the hotels
Yeah,
going.
the hotel is no problem. I can see that happening. But
But key
like the train
landmarks,
station, the key landmarks, like I'm like,
I don't know.
no.
Train station, I could believe. This is just around the time of the Rikyo attacks, so.
Fair enough.
But yeah, there's no way that some of these landmarks would get touched.
So then they bomb the power plants, and this causes fighting between the supernaturals. From the graveyards and haunts, the race of the orphan souls rise from Mictlan to gather their tribute in food and drink. Seeing the chaos, they become and the lack of tribute, they become enraged. Some seek to protect sleepers, while others are attacking.
Oh,
So
by
you
the way,
have
this is
mages.
just as a nod, since they mentioned the whole Mictlan thing. This is a case of White Wolf again confirming that your regional geography determines what type of soul you have.
It determines your underworld, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then Sam quietly slips into what should be Hootsy's haven, only to find it abandoned.
Look, I know Sam's kind of
And
badass, but how did he fight the horrible things that live in hell itself?
because he's
No, he
Sam
was trying
Hate.
to he was trying to go into like the one above ground, I think.
No, he mentions he goes
'Cause he-
deep into the underbelly in this one, if I recall.
Oh, then I don't even fucking know.
Oh no.
Like-
It's the top. He does find a passage into the underbelly. Okay, he's not stupid enough to go down there. Okay.
Right now, at least, he's just like, oh, it's not in the temple in Mexico City, which I set a bunch of distraction bombs off so that I could go to a public area that is open to the public for tourism.
It
that
is.
I couldn't with my magical powers somehow slip inside.
Yeah, because what was it? It's connections 1. That's all you need to make people not notice you.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Connections 1, resource 1 to just bribe them. Um, obfuscate
he
1
just
because you
killed.
have vampire blood. I could see him. I could see him pop a bit of
Yeah, why
V-Day
not?
to gain some
Why fucking
obfuscate.
not? Okay, so he's done all of this.
He has 3 options off the top of my head. Not even getting into his guru
and
powers.
he decides, you know what? No, fuck it. I'm going to become an international terrorist.
Reminder: he's
Why
supposed
not?
to be an excellent and skilled ambusher and hunter, and he decides to out Gruber from Die Hard.
I mean the stuff in the Amazon with him running like kill teams and shit.
Yeah,
like,
but
okay,
he's working for Pentex in a death war.
Yeah, like okay, he's working for Pentex in a death war. He's not an international fucking terrorist that's just going to die hard his way across like half of the city. Like what the fuck is this? It just
But
gets stupider already, and it's like we aren't even past the first bit, and it's already like, how did you take this seriously as a game master if you've been following Sam's story? How is this a logical explanation
I
or
mean, if I was
escalation?
gonna do this, I mean, the problem is they want to do it on Day of the Dead, but like if you actually want to do like a surprise, oh no shit moment. I mean, this would be a different time of year, but he could just ambush the Mexican president during his yearly La Grita, which is a big speech that they do in, I believe, the Zocalo, the big square. Just like
Yeah,
have a
but
firebomb attack
still,
him and then blame it on like one of the other supernaturals.
if he's trying to make like all the supernaturals hate each other, then why also is he bombing a bunch of public locations?
Wouldn't it?
Like,
Ooh, wouldn't it be clever if, say, he managed to sneak a bomb into one of the Sabbat's larger headquarters, like of one of their ductiles or whatever, or one of their
yeah,
bishops, and then it very clearly looks like it was an attempt by Iteration X to wipe out a troublesome problem.
like the NWO has tried to remove him. Yeah, like
Like,
that would make sense. That would be very Sam. That would
and it could be
be
public
incredibly Sam.
because it was a public-facing building. It was like an old cathedral that just got bombed, which is still what the fuck, but you know.
Yeah,
Well,
but it's much more precise and it makes much more sense to actually trigger this sort of shit. Not fuck it. I'm gonna make 9/11 look like a fucking picnic.
I'm,
Like
I'm gonna make Timothy McVeigh wish he was that ambitious.
I'm gonna make Osama bin Laden look like a pussy.
he can't keep getting away with this.
You
That's all I
can't
can
keep
say.
getting away with this.
You know, the irony
You
is,
can't
yeah,
keep getting away
Sam
with
Hyde.
this.
We figured out his true identity.
We figured it out. the notorious Garou terrorist Samuel Hyde.
I'm just down for. I want to see fan art of like Sam Hyde being replaced with Sam Hyde, like just the Skinner. He still keeps his smiley face logo with the blood splatters.
The eye patch. He's just got the eye patch now.
Yeah,
No, wait, I got it.
and it just
And-
has a stick he
and-
found on the
and-
ground that's glowing with magic. No explanation.
I got, and the Guru, we're just gonna kill him. We're just gonna kill him.
The fuck is this already?
I looked into Mage
So-
20th and it was full of virtual adepts doing yoga. Well, yeah, Phil wrote it. That's what do you expect?
Yeah, like
Zen,
that's
Phil wrote it.
Mage 20. It's Phil. He's gonna say, yeah, they do yoga. Like that's because it's Phil. Phil's I hate to say it. Phil is on one hand brilliant. On the other hand, he's also just weird as shit. And he has his own particularities. And if you like his particularities and peculiar things and all that, then yeah, you'll like Mage 20th a lot. If you don't, Mage 20th is still a decent book. It's also a slog.
No,
at
it's a
some points.
doorstopper. Just play Mage Revised, in my opinion.
I mean, yeah, I'd still say probably the better introduction is Mage Revised,
Or Ars
just
Magica
play
4th
New
or
World,
5th edition.
or play ours and just say fuck it. You're wizards in medieval Europe. Have fun.
So yeah, here's some.
uh,
Here's the planning though. The troop should encounter several enemies at the discretion of the storyteller. The trick though is to provide excitement without causing your troops serious damage. The tale has only just begun. You know, the first day that can kill you.
They're saying, yeah, you need multi-aggravated, and then they're backing off that, like, oh,
Chickens.
they're chickening out right now. It's like, what? Why?
HIT mark troops are on the street looking for trouble and especially for supernaturals.
Those are like the technocracy's hitmen.
All right.
the
Human
cyborgs.
improvement technology or whatever. Marks.
Okay, fair enough.
They're cyborgs. They're like the T1000 or the T800.
Okay, that makes
They're
sense.
just Terminators.
Men in Black as well. They'll shoot first, ask questions later, so good luck. Savat are, of course, quite furious. Someone probably Camarilla infiltrators. I mean, how?
How? How are you blaming this on the Camarilla when
There's
you've got
no
the
way.
technocracy that you know
Well,
about? It's right
they're the
fucking there.
They're the Sabbat.
Yes, they hate
Well,
the
also,
Camarilla.
Not-
But to give you an
Well,
idea,
no,
at this point in time, I think they have. I think they control cities as far north as Dallas at this point.
They control New York still.
So yeah, hell no, they don't care. It's
They
almost
control New
certainly
York
the
and Montreal.
technocracy at this
It's like,
point.
yeah, it's the technocracy. It has to be.
Or maybe anarchs. They wouldn't be looking at the Camarilla.
Well, it wasn't it also said that Hootsie is subtly manipulating everyone?
Yeah, but even he wouldn't be like, oh yeah, no, he'd be setting them immediately against one another because that's benefit to him, blood for the blood god and all that. Not,
Especially since they're the powerful
I mean, that's
figures
what
in the thing, and it's
that's what they are
basically
doing.
crippling them.
They're going after anyone.
yeah, but the difference here is
But they're
like,
focusing on
you,
unknown kindred, which what's the point?
what? Why would it be unknown kindred? You know about the technocracy here. You know about all that shit. Why the fuck are you going only after the technocracy? Or at least mostly. Like it just doesn't
Also, the
work.
guru there are mostly black spiral dancers. They're not even that noted because most of them are hidden in the underbelly. It
Yeah,
has to be Iteration X or any of the
it has to be
other
the New World Order.
technocracies.
It has to be New World Order or the Progenitors or Iteration X or any of the guys that are in charge of Mexico City. Like just it is the
The the Chronicles already off the rails, and we're only on day one. We're only on the
we're on
first
day
event.
one, and it makes zero sense already. Slow clap.
So then, I guess moving on then to the next day.
No, you forgot Zen. They also control the city of Gary.
Yeah, they control Gary, Indiana, because who the fuck wants to be in Gary, Indiana? The Sabbat, that's who. The most depressing town in America.
It also
Wait,
gives
who
them
has-
it
who
also
has-
gives them a good forward base into Chicago, which is the linchpin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, who has Milwaukee?
I
The
think
Camarilla,
the
I think.
Camarilla still does, although it is much satellite city.
Yeah.
It's also surrounded by Guru, and the wizards control the breweries.
Yeah, you got the Guru up north, you've got the Sabbat down south. The only way out is by the plane. Can't really expand throughout the Midwest then.
Yeah. They're looking at trying to take Detroit, I think. I don't know. Like fuck it.
Not
Just
Detroit.
roll with it. No, not Detroit. Not Detroit. Anywhere but Detroit. No.
Sweetwater Sept is not looking for trouble. I thought Sweetwater Sept was north. Oh, do they mean that's the Bonar ones under Machete? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. They don't want no trouble.
Yeah, these guys are your main source of details, information, data.
And techs are just
Yeah.
guarding their buildings, and the dead will be after anyone who they think is to blame.
Here's my
So
question.
everyone.
Why the hell didn't Sam Haight use his advantages in Pentex's business corporations to also get them involved?
They do mention that earlier. They do say that his relationship is strained at best.
It doesn't matter. He has access codes and shit.
Yeah,
but
why doesn't he use some of his
And
pull
he
in
has
Pentex? Because
spheres.
he has agents there.
And he has spheres. And combine that with what his connections were normally, he could augment them further with the magic he's accumulated.
I don't know.
Because
I'd
the more
assume that he
plausible,
just wouldn't want to attract attention.
Well, no, because the more plausible your shit is, the easier it is for magic to take hold. That's always been the whole gimmick in Mage the Ascension, and he has mage powers by this point.
Yeah, he does. He has sphere magic because.
And if
why
all
not?
else fails, he can turn into a Krynos form and just beat the shit out of you.
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
Beat the shit out of you with potence, and I forget if he has potence 3 or above.
But yeah, the point here is that this is really stupid, and we're only just beginning.
Yeah, we haven't even reached October 29th.
We're an hour in, and we've only covered one day of 4.
Oh no.
Well, so October 29th, the troop possibly encounters the Sweetwater Sept. 6 a.m. through 7 p.m.
I don't know. I don't
Technocracy-
remember Wanderer at all. The only one I remember is Machete.
Wanderer was the
Technocracy-
skin changer. Skin thief, I mean.
So the Technocracy examines the bomb sites, which leads them to believe it was the tradition that was behind it.
Yeah, no.
What?
Because
Fuck no.
terrorism. That's what they do.
They have. If let me go back up because I remember some of their spheres. That's bullshit. Let me look.
While you're doing that, the Kindred sleep, and the Guru search for Sam Haight, who now
Fuck
enters the underbelly. At 7:30 p.m., the troop may follow Sam into the wormhole.
Okay, let's take a look.
Yeah, like please go down into the deep, dark, terrible place.
All right, let's see what Quetzalcoatl's spheres are. Correspondence 4. Eat shit and die. I knew it. Correspondence 4. Go fuck yourself. To give you an idea,
But yeah,
Correspondence 4 would allow them to instantly know who did it. And possibly kill them in the past.
yeah. They also basically say for mages, you know that the technocracy is in charge with this, and you also know it will be almost impossible to locate him through magic because of his counter magic through the staff.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that plot armor. I forgot about that. But that wouldn't
Any mages,
protect him.
Well,
yeah,
That wouldn't protect the bombs.
actually, hold on. Technically, because he did take the powers from a tradition mage. Maybe that's why they're thinking
The problem
it
is
was
that the
tradition.
Correspondence 4 would allow them to actually be able to just read from the middlemen the facial descriptions of the guy who did it.
yeah.
They might not be able to touch him with Correspondence, but they could at least visually recognize him. Unless they decide, I mean, there's some bullshit you can do as a storyteller to rationalize it away. Like one of the effects that the staff allows him because it's a node is it obscures his features, basically obfuscate kind of. So maybe that, but that's just plot hole garbage. Maybe don't do something this fucking stupid if you're dealing with mages with Correspondence 4. Now, admittedly, it's Quetzalcoatl and he's too busy running other things, but you're really telling me that they don't have another person with decent correspondence on the job?
So, they do say that it's impossible to find Sam Hyten on the first night.
Of course it is, because go fuck yourself. Fuck your railroading.
Uh, Mary, the Wanderer, would know, but she's not willing to share that much because everyone would then know, oh, she's a skinwalker.
Alright.
But she can point them to the passage of the Pyramid of Hootsie.
Is this the
Uh,
scene for Technocracy Mages? I'm sorry, I'm just kind of like trying to figure out where
scene for the
the guru.
mages.
Okay.
Page. On the cover of the page number 88.
I just wanted to make sure since there's several scenes from several points of view.
Yep. Then they have the
Yeah.
guru, and the guru are basically like, okay, okay. The main thing that they're going to talk about here is that if you decided to go right into the moon bridge into the city, you just all die. You
Yeah,
know.
there's
Okay.
nothing you can do.
If you met hate before, have a slim chance of locating a scent, though it's proves difficult. You know, these cautions survive. Black spirals dominate the city, and they have allies and whatever else. All you got is the
Translation, we're fucking stupid and don't know how to actually run an adventure chronicle correctly for this one.
yeah, the only allies that you have in time right now are the Bone Gnars, the Sweetheart Sept, and they're more aggressive than most Bone Gnars, but also very happy to see any Guru have not fallen to the worm. If asked, they'll assist the pack, but they'll ask for a favor in return. So they want to do the ritual of the dead. And whether or not the pack agrees, they will aid them, but the pack will find the help comes easier with the promise. They have Wanderer they talk about more, where you can get stuff out of her. The Sep's father states that she's fine eventually. And how she cleansed away the worm influence from her somehow.
Well,
Okay,
no, they
whatever.
mentioned there's if you go into the weird spirit Ooga Booga land, there is a reflection of Erebus, the volcano in Antarctica. If you manage
Yeah.
to make the wandering spiritual journey there, basically its spiritual reflection is almost like the Zoroastrian version of hell, which burns away your impurities.
Okay.
So if you survive it, which is not entirely possible because it's molten silver you're intentionally dipping yourself into, but if you survive it, you're cleansed of any taint. Hypothetically, a black spiral dancer might survive it, but probably not.
I'm pretty
Okay.
sure they would just go insane.
Yeah. Okay.
I
So
know about that location. It's been brought up a couple of other books.
okay.
So
So not quite as stupid, but
Not as
still
horseshit
like
as the desperation the writers are having and trying to invent excuses for why you don't just scry and kill Samuel Haight.
so the Garou are hunting down Hate. The Kindred. If you're playing as a Camarilla or an Anarch,
You're basically dead.
it says here there are still at least 30 Sabbat to each character. These are very bad odds.
Yeah.
Yeah, chances are that they should defend him at all costs if they went with him, as he's their best chance for leaving the city alive.
Yeah, that's the only
Um,
reason they'd be working with him.
If they know
here's the,
their Sabat
so
lore,
it,
though, they could bluff their way out of the city using the right signals to give them the Sabat. They are just part of the gang.
however, if you're Archons or have the Fame background, you're fucked.
Yeah, basically.
Yep. Now, unless you have Sam with you, you're fucked. Now, whether the troop wants to help or hinder him is a significant part of the action. If they have no information sources in town, if they're trying to find him, they'll have to rely on disciplines to lead them to their target. So whatever.
I mean,
Anyway,
the vampire version of the Chronicles kind of interesting because you're almost kind of working on two different angles.
yeah, you're like, yeah, Sam's kind of fine, and then it's also
Also, there's the benefit that you don't have to invent horseshit excuses to avoid just a first night wipe or a first night fight that accidentally kills Haig.
yeah,
Again,
because
that's one of the problems with this is not a well-constructed adventure module because sometimes things go completely off the rails.
oh
So
yeah,
same
I
thing for
1 in
the
100 chance,
Sabat.
and you roll the 100, and it's like, oh fuck, that happened tonight for me. It was funny as hell.
Then, so yeah, that's day 1. Day 2 opens with a quote from Demolition.
Demolition Man. Oh no, just demolition.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
so but yeah, the Sabat one is basically it's like, oh,
and
either you're
I
with him or
like
you're
this.
not, and it's pretty easy to find him if you're not because you're Sabat.
Like this. While all the information necessary for running the underbelly of the worm is included in the source book, you also might want to look at these products, right, Wolf? Book of the Worm, Sabat Player's
Book,
Handbook,
Clan Book
Clan Book
Nosferatu,
Nosferatu.
Storyteller's Guide to the Sabat, the Book of Chantries, and the Book of Shadows. All of these books are absolutely necessary. All of them contain useful information that a denizens that inhabit there.
Which
Which,
I
What
okay,
the
think is shitty, personally.
you don't need
fuck is
them, but we recommend them. Which, okay,
I mean, Book of the Worm at
fuck?
least makes total sense.
I didn't realize I had to buy the same amount of books as I do for a Games Workshop game.
Let's be fair, Book of the Worm is the only one that kind of matters because that's, I think, the one that goes most in depth. Apocalypse is useful just to get an idea on what the worm does. Because let's be fair, this is designed to be a multi-splat book.
yeah,
But this
Um,
is absolutely horseshit.
and then there's so the description of Pandemonium. The stench was almost unbearable, a ripe combination of rotting flesh, raw sewage, and something far, far worse. Most of the group breathed through their mouths, trying to avoid the smell, but the coating on their tongues tasted like a rotten corpse must taste. The walls were slick with a dark mucus, and no one would have been surprised to see teeth up ahead. Enormous razor-sharp teeth, with bits of shredded flesh and long strings of gristle wedged in the crevices between. It was almost a relief to step from the steeply sloping tunnel and onto solid earth again. The cavern was dark, illuminated by a diseased glow that only hinted at what lay beyond. Perhaps that was for the best. The darkness moved just beyond the edge of their vision, and everyone turned to see what they could. Thrusting from the desiccated ruins of a magnificent pyramid, a bloating thing slobbered and shifted. The black shape made sounds, some like a scream of pain, others like the beating of a diseased heart. The pyramid's remains were intimidating enough, but the mass that grew from its insides were terrifying, almost impossible to take in with only one glance. Some whispered softly in the darkness, a sound that was one part disbelief and two parts terrified awe. God help us all, I think it's alive. As if to prove the voice's point, the thing moved again, long rubbery tendrils sliding from its sides and worming blindly towards them. Congratulations, you're fighting that thing.
Now you know why moon bridging is an instant death. Have fun!
Oh, and Sam Hyde's not affected by the creature's presence.
To be fair, he is worm tainted. That's the only reason he's not fucking dead. I'll give the book brief excuses, and this is one of the few times I'm actually going to agree with the book. That is the only time, one of the only times I will agree with the book, though, probably.
no one. Why would you come after me into this fucking hellhole? Yeah, like genuinely, why would you? Why would you go
Well,
here?
now, well, now we're describing the underbelly starting with a quote from the Crash Test Dummies.
Once was a good blow in
Um,
the breeze here. We wrote about Lacey each new year. What have I remembered? What did this used to be? Or whatever. I don't fucking know the song.
all sight perception rolls are made against difficulty 8.
Where's
Uh,
this part?
That's page 92,
Yeah, I know. It's just I don't know how you're finding
the
these
bottom.
random bits because I see infectious touch.
It's last sentence.
Ah, yeah.
Uh,
So Hootsie Pootsy's pyramid used to be actually be normal height of 600. Now it's doubled that.
It's enormous, fragmented, made way for the Pandemonium. Pandemonium, in fact, is alive. There are mindless maggot-like servitors that grow it and makes things about it. There's lichen that grows in the ground. There's a bunch of skeletons that are still bleeding and moving around. um,
Oh
the
yeah. By
stench
the way, it
itself can
constantly
make you go
absorbs
into
bodies.
a frenzy. Yeah, the if you fail your roll against the stench, you need to spend a willpower point, and a botch means fleeing as quickly as possible for the surface world.
I wonder how many willpower points Hate had to burn to not immediately Fox Frenzy.
I
0,
don't
because
fucking
he's
know.
Sam Hate.
Also, yeah, probably that.
Author Fiat.
Also, they have a few advantages that, like, if you're a mage, you can be like, okay, I use spirit. I know that this is a bad place. We shouldn't go. We're not going there.
Yeah, it's not pretty. Oh, by the way, the worst part about being a mage down here, using any of your spheres can attract the attention of the men in black Barabai that are native to this region, that are designed to intentionally guard it, almost like white blood cells. By the way, reminder that Pandemonium came from fragments of Hootsie's body because of the pact he made with the demon.
Yeah.
Literal hell.
And the technocracy ones are basically like they have a better chance of reaching it. So, and also because the technocracy is going to be like, okay, we need to fucking destroy this.
For the Garou, this is interesting. If you do not use stealth or caution under the pyramid, as in any failures or botches, allow the black spiral dancers to take notice. If the pack is spotted, the black spiral dancers call the rest of the hive and attack.
Yep. It makes sense.
You're
Black
dead.
spiral dancers can naturally kind of guide their way around the spiral, so to speak.
Uh, I like this. The bone gnars above do not offer help, nor do they agree to assist the pack if asked. Or if asked, the bone gnars are alive because they use their brains, not because they are suicidal.
Yeah, they're like,
Posthumously awarded
yeah,
renown does not interest them.
they're like, yeah, no, we're not
We'd
helping
all
you.
be we'd all be wiped out if we went down there, and there's nothing to
Oh yeah,
stop
they
the
also
warp.
mentioned that like there is a chance that the pandemonium can notice you, and it will just capture you and drag you
Yep.
away.
It's Dexterity 7, by the way.
Yeah. If the troop leaves the player on their own, a new Black Spiral Dancer, kindred on the path of evil revelations, corrupt a were creature, and Nefandi mage will likely remember the lack of assistance when their rebirth is finished several hours later.
Yep.
Yeah. That's fun.
Makes sense, though.
Yeah, it makes sense. Camarilla, basically they go like, okay, if you're captured, you'll be diablerized or bloodbound, and will probably be sacrificed to Bali or forced to the path of evil revelations. And if you're Sabat, basically the same shit.
Which kind of makes sense. You can kind of tell, though, that the problem with the authors are they're very much assuming that the story doesn't end at this point.
Yeah,
Which
like
is one of the worst ways you can write a story.
It's also, why would you follow the man into the bit of hell? Why would you do that? Why would you at all go down here?
Oh, by the way,
Like,
here's my other rebuttal. If even the Sabat get dragged down there, I'm calling. Okay, that turns my. It makes sense to no. Sam would have gotten fully corrupted. I don't
if the
care how
Sabat,
powerful you are. Pandemonium is just going to drag its ass into the call or whatever.
if you're not part of the path of evil revelations, you are fucked.
Yeah.
Basically, is what they say.
Or you're a
Which,
black spiral dancer, or let's be fair, maybe a skin dancer, but no, you have to be fully corrupted. Skin dancers are only partially. They haven't completely fallen. technically.
Yeah.
And yeah, or a Nathondus. You have to be one of them. I have the two.
So, now next is when you're into the Pandemonium. Successfully. So if you finally get through there, you are now inside the Pandemonium. Have fun.
Yeah, because don't you want to go into the thing that's alive and will eat you at any point?
Oh, here's the how to successfully navigate it. It requires 15 cumulative successes with a dexterity dodge roll, difficulty 5.
That's stupid.
You just gotta roll the dice 15 times.
That's really stupid.
Yeah.
But I mean, what they're trying to do is it's called an extended success. Sometimes this actually happens. It's usually used for like longer researches though, or for longer periods of time. This
Not dodging your way through the fucking
this is fucking
Hell.
stupid.
Temple of Doom. Yeah.
What would have
Like,
made sense is one success, difficulty 8, which is high. That is high for old world, or maybe even 9, because you know you're squidging through a Cthulhu thing.
Then beyond the Pandemonium, so once you're there, you're now where Hootsie spent the last several centuries in Torpor. He has already abandoned the area, though. There's a
Yeah,
small
of
collection of
course he
papers
does,
that.
because he can magically outspeed you when the writer needs him to.
So,
I legitimately
uh,
hate that the most. I hated this when they did it in Rage Across the Amazon because it's fucking stupid. Do you know what Valkenburg did? They literally told the storyteller, invent any excuse you can to get hate to escape. It's not just, oh yeah, he fucking does it.
so you then see, you can find this collection of papers. It reveals his true location,
How are the
which
papers
is,
not eaten by the Cthulhu?
uh, maybe he doesn't
no
like
idea.
paper.
Maybe Sam's papers are so evil even Cthulhu is not interested.
No, this is Hootsie's papers.
Oh, yeah, then they are too ancient. So you move from the haven where the characters stand in 1978 to a new haven in the mountains beyond Mexico City. So,
Why'd he write
uh,
them down?
I don't know, and Sam hasn't actually seen that.
Yeah, why would Hootsie write this down in archaic Spanish, which is still translatable in modern Spanish? Because archaic Spanish for
I
him is, isn't that like 1400s, which, yes, while clunky, is still understandable, mutually intelligible?
Yeah, I don't understand.
That's
Look,
stupid.
the thing moving on here is that Sam Haight is saying with this is that, oh yeah, he's going to Petra, which is where part 2 comes in. And you can just skip this entire section.
You can. It's
But,
funny.
no, here's some. Uh,
If you're a
is
mage,
that
you
he's
should know
going
not
there
to go there.
because there's a powerful being rumored to be a mage, a mummy, a vampire, or something worse.
Yeah, this was before
Mummies in
Mummy
the
was made a thing.
Well, Mummy was a thing, it just wasn't like a full on own
It
splat.
was one-off. It was one-off creatures because people keep forgetting it slowly got tacked on. People keep forgetting that at this point there's really only 4 splats. And Wraith might not have even been written yet. They might have been created as one-off creations, you know?
And then now to part 2, with another quote from Crash Test Dummies. Uh, I like the timeline. 6 a.m. Hate arrives in Jordan. 7:30 a.m. Hate leaves Jordan.
That's stupid.
Only there for an hour and a half.
What's the point? That
I don't know.
this is stupid.
Yes, yes, it is. It's incredibly stupid.
This might be a bit of a breather moment for
No,
the
it's not.
characters.
It's not a breather moment at all because this is like, yeah, we have to go to Jordan, and it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Especially since he's only there for 90 minutes, and then somehow magically can get a plane immediately
Well,
away
because
90 minutes
he's got
later.
like a correspondence bureau, I guess. But like,
I mean, he does. I mean, that's fine and all, but like, whatever.
if you're not a mage, why would you be there? Like how would you get here if you're not a mage?
Also, I have another question. Why didn't Hootsie just write it in like Akkadian or Aramaic or any
That would make
dead Semitic
that would make more
language?
sense. That's why he's traveling to Jordan to find someone to translate it.
That would have
But
made
even
sense.
then, but then why not the fucking universities in Mexico City?
Well, they're already bombed, so
Oh yeah, right.
He
He
blew them
bombed
all up.
them. He fucking bombed them, right? What the fuck? This is so
I think
fucking
I think
dumb.
this might be dumber
See-
than the Berlin by Night adventure.
No, the Berlin by
Well-
Night adventure is still dumber because that's like a first person adventure. That's like your first time you would ever play adventure. Like this is not meant for characters that are just starting out. From what I've been able to tell out of this.
Yeah, but
and, like,
think
this
about
book
it
in
like
general.
this. This would then make your entire chronicle the equivalent of Mass Effect 3 without the DLC patches.
Oh god. You're not wrong. Because,
I
like,
think
how
I
do
would
you- how do
hate
you
I
come
think I
back
hate
from
it
this?
more. Yeah, I think I hate it more. Because imagine you start off in Valkenburg. Like let's say you're part of the Valkenburg Foundation. You've dealt with Haig twice because he also fought him in Rage Against the Amazon later on.
Yeah,
And
and
this
now
is how it's
you're
going to
coming
fucking
for
end.
round 3. You're gonna fuck him up and end him off, and it's this bullshit. Yeah, okay. Now I can understand why you'd be pissed.
Now, yes, I would probably Berlin by Night's still worse, but this is such a wet fart. It's not even funny.
well, hold on a sec. So once you get to Jordan, you may encounter Talak, a powerful minion in the world of darkness and the true Prince of Jordan. I guess
I
go
guess
fuck
the
yourself,
royal house of
Hashemite dynasty.
Yeah, I was about to say the Hashemites ain't shit.
Yeah.
At this point, I think the prince is it's still the guy who ends up on Star Trek. Yeah, fun fact: the current monarch of Jordan, big fan of Star Trek. He was on Deep Space Nine for an episode.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe he also funded that season partially.
So let's just keep going.
So,
But
so
right, they meet
I
some
like how
golems
Jordan is a land of death to all
who
awakened.
all awakened. But there's a bunch there anyway. Who gives a shit? So
Very
there's
stupid.
these mages there that are in their own little tower. There's they study the Kabbalah. They have like a thing there where the Kabbalah is all. There's golems there, and they find there and
Do you think this was just Phil wanting to write a weird Arabian adventure?
this was not Phil. Phil, I don't think was involved with this one.
He was,
With
but he's
this
probably
adventure, I
not
mean.
the main writer.
I don't think he was involved with this adventure itself, is what I mean. Like, I know
Yeah.
he was involved
You know
with this
what? Oh,
book.
you know what this also could be? This could also be just to push more for like what mages would do, because honestly, with
The problem is this was
this whole
sold under
book, it's
Mage the
primarily
Ascension.
been uh
No, this is
It
a Mage
is,
the
yeah.
Ascension
This
book,
is
so
a
this
mage
is
book.
even stupider.
Yeah. So this book here, also, by the way, you have to then fight a group of Jordanian soldiers.
Yeah.
wait, actually, hold on, one other question. Why would in Jordan would there be a group of mages studying the Kabbalah?
I don't know. Like,
That's Jewish.
fuck it.
Why would they
Fuck
not
it.
be in?
It's mages don't gotta explain shit.
It would make more sense to find them in the deserts of like Saudi Arabia because at least there was a tribe of Jewish Arabians called the Banu. I forget what they were called. They used to be a thing.
Or
Then
Israel?
anyway, then you go back to then you go back. Also, yes, the Mossad is also looking after you, and if you
Yeah.
kill anyone near Petra, you will probably get firebombed or have your home blow up.
Yeah.
How are the Mossad involved again?
There's
That's
no
the
reason.
only way the Mossad are involved, and there's no reason for them to be involved. Why are they even in the book?
What? And hold on. Why Israel's secret service or secret
I
intelligence
don't know.
agency
Maybe they're there
and not
spying on the
Jordan?
fact that. Well, maybe it's because they noticed the fact that a bunch of Jordanian soldiers suddenly fucking died, and they're like, what the fuck is going on? And then they find these guys and like, oh, we better kill them because they're probably coming after us at some point.
Oh no, this is even stupider because the whole vacation arc is absolutely worthless.
It's pointless. It does nothing. It literally does nothing at all.
What made them fucking think to put this in here? There's no reason at all.
All right, then the third day of the dead, we
Well,
go
no,
back.
I want to insult this. This is the most railroady bullshit ever. The moment that any of their poorly thought out 1,000 days, nights, Scheherazade bullshit is ignored, difficulty 10, 3 successes per turn required to avoid gaining a new derangement from some bullshit thing. They never hint what it is. It's just some absolute fucking bullshit. Oh, by the way, when you go completely insane, the people of Petra just take anyone found and just deliver. I mean, at that point, I would just technocracy satellite nuke them. Fuck that
Yeah.
place.
Why would you go to the Petra? It's not a nice place. Anyway,
Well, no,
so then we get
I
to
just like every aspect of this is garbage, and I fucking hate it, and I want it gone. I'm going. This is legitimately something I would never fucking make canon. This is
well,
so
that's
fucking
good.
stupid.
Good news. Good news. It is no longer canon.
Thank God.
Actually, wait. Hold on. I realize this. So we have in Jordan a group of Jewish mystics, presumably from Europe because they're using golems,
Of course they are.
in a tower that's named in Arabic,
Yep.
in which Jordanian soldiers get killed,
Yep.
and Mossad shows up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, Israel and Jordan are going to be in another war.
Also, keep in
Yeah.
mind that this is another example of the dummies that are writing this just again forgetting. I don't know what happened to native traditions. Like, yeah, the old world kind of spread, but wouldn't it make more sense for like voices of it would be a bunch of voice of the choir specifically for Sufi Islam in the tower?
Yeah.
Yes, but that would be logical. So that therefore we can't have that.
That would make a million times more sense. Also, what is it with them just taking randos from Europe and just fucking throwing them everywhere? Like, Mexico City is run by more English people than there are fucking Spaniards in it.
Yeah. Anyway,
Because
can we
people writing
move?
this
Can
are
we
all
move
white
on so that we're not
Americans.
here? So that we're not here all
American.
like 5 hours.
I'm sorry,
Well, okay,
I need to spend 8 hours. I have to do a 5 bajillion hour essay on how stupid the Jordanian experience was. I'm kidding. Third day.
We
So-
need to. Yeah.
Okay, so here's what's going on in Mexico City. Kindred are still looking for who's ever assaulted them.
Yeah,
The
fair
Gnawers are
enough.
preparing for the greatest celebrations, and the technocracy is killing everyone who's not aligned with them.
Which
And then there's
is
the underbelly.
the technocracy thing makes no sense because they're supposed to be a little more especially since remember who's leading them? A multi-hundred-year-old mage.
They do point out that the technocracy in this area are very cruel.
Yeah, but that only means
Uh,
being cold. You think through your cruelty.
No, I think that they've gone complete psychopath.
Which is dumb because every fucking person in their leadership board
They're trying to
has-
figure out what's going on and kill everyone that is not aligned with them, which
Oh,
I
fair enough,
understand.
but it would not in the way they're doing it.
Yeah, the way they're doing it is the issue, not that they're doing it at all. Which is like that's like technocracy 101 is they do shit like this, but
They do shit like this, but they do it. There's a process. There's a system. There's an organization. There's a logical, industrialized madness to it.
Yep. But anyway, they're
And,
looking for Nafandi. They're looking for all this. The wraiths of children are coming home.
and the underbelly wants anyone who broke into the underbelly. They want them dead.
So,
So
hey,
Congratulations, you're marked.
have fun with all the Nosferatu anti-tribu that live down there. You know, the ones that are invisible and know probably everything about you, especially if you're a Sabbat vampire native to the area. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, don't forget the entire, like, the technocracy isn't wrong in this case. There is an entire Ahriman of Nefandi down there. Like,
yeah, why not?
no. Remember, they listed an entire group.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, why not? Like, why not? Why not also have like even more Nefandi show up besides that group? Why not?
Well, don't forget
At
they're
this
gonna
point.
sick 3 Marauders on you in this chapter.
Oh, right, yeah, there's that too.
3 powerful Marauders, by the way. Oh, and don't forget the Restless Dead are actively murdering people now, including Mictlan himself.
Yeah, shit's breaking down.
Reminder: this is not a Gehenna scenario. This is not the build up to Gehenna. This is not the build up to the apocalypse.
This is literally
This is
another
not
day
the
in
build
Mexico
up to the
City.
paradigm shift.
Then moving on to chapter 2, we get a quote from Judas Priest.
Also, I
and-
guess Samuel Haight has pierced nipples.
Yes, he does.
Oh my god.
He did. He did.
Oh,
Also, I
my
love the
God.
reaction on the guy's face. What the fuck is wrong with
What
you?
the fuck is this? Yeah.
And,
So-
then you have the Lasombra in the background, or maybe it's an Astamite enjoying it. Yes, yes.
Good. So the plot of this one is pretty fucking simple. They mention right off the
Oh,
bat.
hey, it's the part where everyone dies.
They mentioned right off the bat that they're like, you know what? The party might have decided not to go back to Mexico City after leaving it.
I mean, wouldn't you?
So here's what happens.
Why would you? Why? Okay. So first off, why would you have left Mexico City to go to Jordan? If you're a mage, that seems incredibly stupid.
Well, no, if you're
not a mage,
there's
it also
maybe a
seems
logic.
incredibly stupid.
No, if there's a mage, it's dumb. But if you heard about maybe just change it to be choir or voice, Sufi Islam Tower, maybe.
Maybe. Okay. That's a big maybe
It's dumb.
though.
It's dumb.
It's dumb and it basically makes no sense, but okay, fine. Whatever.
But for the others, no, it is the only you'd have to actually use the German term single cell organism mind. There's a German insult that literally calls the stupid person
amoeba
a one
brain. Yeah.
amoeba brain.
So here's what happens if you did not return on the 4th day. During the 3rd day, over a dozen Sabbat were killed. They believe the Guru have been in their town, so they're now going to kill all Guru. And the Black Hand has shown up.
Don't you love the idiot balls?
Quick thing. The fact of the matter is, well, the fact of everything here is that is actually if you do not return to Mexico City, that's going to happen. Well, on the 3rd day. This is you said the 4th day. It's the 3rd day still that this is going to happen. Also, the Black Hand would be involved in this by day fucking 1. They are the Sabbat's heavy hitters. Why would they not be involved if a Sabbat headquarters got
No,
fucking
it wasn't just
bombed?
one. It wasn't just one tech. It was 12 at once.
Yeah, why would they not be involved? You might say, well, he managed to kill all the Black Hand at once.
Hell no.
And it's like, well,
Hell
no.
The Tali
Then they
Mera's
just-
whole thing is legitimately they are the Wet Works division and heavy hitter enforcement unit.
The Talmay Ra are a completely different thing. That's the secret hand. That's the true Black Hand that you're talking about. That's the Talmay Ra. The
actual Black Hand. The real
the
Black
actual
Hand.
Black Hand, which is not the true Black Hand because that's a different thing.
Nah, fuck them.
Fuck those guys. Because, god damn it. All right, so basically
The fact that they have
Sabbat's
2 of them
Black
is
Hand,
really stupid.
it's confusing as fuck when we're talking
It's
about
trash.
this too. Because the Sabbat's Black Hand, their entire purpose is to kill motherfuckers that are fucking with the Sabbat and be their internal police. They are the heavy hitters of the Sabbat.
Yep.
If there's
After 12
zero
bombings,
chance
yes.
that there would not be immediately someone that is sent to call out to say, I don't know, Tijuana or wherever else there's a Mexico stronghold of the Sabbat, that get your fuckers on the ass, get your fucking guys on the ass, on their asses on a plane to Mexico City.
Oh, I just realized that, you know what they didn't do for any of the character dossiers for Mexico City?
What?
They did not list any Black Hand members.
They didn't. Why? Okay, that doesn't make any sense.
They didn't
That
list a
makes
single
zero
one.
sense. Why the fuck wouldn't you include one?
They only listed the Archbishop, a bishop, and I think one of the more influential ductiles.
Well, were any listed in any of the Black Hand books? there any books about the Black Hand?
I cannot remember, but like the idea that there would not be a Black Hand already operating within Mexico City
There
is
should be a
really
cell.
fucking stupid.
There should be
There
at
should
least
be
a
at
cell.
least a pack. There should be at least a pack of Black Hand that are working Mexico City over. Like this would be a place where you have the hell pit below with a demon goddamn summoning
Now, to be fair,
demigod.
they're not entirely aware of that. So I would
They
say
aren't
they
entirely
should
aware
have
of
at
that.
least. Well, actually, Mexico City is really large, so I'd say 2 packs, and then when shit goes down, double that.
Yeah, like it doesn't make any sense for there not to have been Black Hand active by this point. If you know anything about the Sabbat, oh my god!
Oh, also, apparently the minions of Samuel Haight are all not dead yet. Bullshit.
How?
And
How?
they've left town.
They don't have the same protections that Haight
Also-
does when it comes to magic. Like they would be
Also,
found
including
and killed by blood magic or sphere magic. One of the two would happen.
Or the men in black
also
just
Wanderer
storm it
has
and kill them.
disappeared. What else has been going on? The Uktena have shown up. The Somdi from all across the hemisphere have gone to Mexico City, including Awakened Necromancers, Giovanni. The Technocracy has decided total supernatural death. The pogrom has been lax. Kill everything.
Which is really funny because they were the ones that were least affected by the explosions.
Oh, and the worm armies plan to sweep the offenders away, destroying any who have survived the assault on Pandemonium. They are helped in the form of 3 Bali kindred, ready to assist in the purging of the city.
Yep.
The time has come to claim the city once and for all.
Yep.
How is this not? This has to be a Gehenna.
This is a.
This
All
is
right.
similar
How the
to-
fuck can
stakes-
anybody in how the fuck
the
has
stakes
anybody in
have gone.
Mexico not seen them? Like any normal people.
This should have
Okay.
been when the Second
Holy
Inquisition
shit!
was
There's
formed.
an oozing mass coming out of the sewers.
Now, to be fair, it is not coming out of the it's really deep.
Okay, so
To be
I
fair, it's
wanna
like
know-
really deep and under.
I want to note the scale for Samuel Haight has gone from guy in a compound that has basically like will not fight you directly if at all possible to motherfucker going down and causing the end of the world. Like
No, you
fuck
forgot
is
the best
happening?
part. His minions went from a few hunters that were completely unaffiliated that he got drunk just to hunt animals to lure werewolves in to kill, to Pentex Kill Squad, to this.
To this, like the Pentex skill squad, that made a little bit of sense if he's working with Pentex. Like no shit, they'd put him in charge of a kill squad. But this is like
Oh, by the way, also, no, I don't believe the Sabbat want to bring about.
No, they
Gehenna.
actually want to go again. They want to fight Gehenna. Their goal is to kill every antediluvian.
So waking one up is a bad thing.
Oh no! What they would do is they would either murder it or drink it. Ideally, both.
technically speaking,
Uh,
the Sabbat are a Gehenna cult. But they're a Gehenna cult in a completely different way than every other Gehenna cult that you could think of.
They were
Their
literally want
objective
to
is
stop it.
Their objective
gonna
is
bring
to
it-
cause Gehenna as in the return of Cain, but nothing else. They don't want the end of the world. They don't want vampires, like, suddenly transcending to a new state of existence. No. They want Cain to come back and see that they've done a good job. And so that they can rule the world of mortals again. That's it.
And also never have to fear from their elders again.
Yeah.
It's very
that's
simple.
why you wake up. That's why you wake up the progenitor, because then the antediluvians can't do shit.
Well, because
Yeah.
according to their legends, Cain legitimately cursed all of them because of what they did. If they try anything, he's likely to finish it by killing them.
Yeah, so their entire thing is we are trying to make Cain happy. They are the army of Cain. That is literally one of the things they call themselves.
They also call themselves the Sword of Cain.
Yeah, the sword of Cain. They are his vengeance upon those who have betrayed his values, which is every other vampire.
Who they
Like,
see
he's
as
a
a
black
with
hand.
all of the ancients.
This is also why they get along with like the Assamites as well as they do, because well, the Assamites are very similar too, aren't
That's
they?
also why they hire him out so much.
Yep.
Did the Black Hand want to bring about Gehenna?
Which one?
It gets fucky because the
Yeah,
Sabat version
that's-
is yes, but in the same way. The true one, who gives a shit? Fuck them.
The true one
Oh.
sort of is a Gehenna cult, I guess. They're
Sort of.
weird.
Who
So-
cares?
So next,
It's confusing. Yeah.
Pentex has decided to assemble several first teams wearing the badges of government police forces and to also kill everything.
So they're literally doing the fucking. This is just Bope from the new Hunter.
Do you think
They're
that's
just
where they
gonna
stole
do
it
that.
Well,
Why
no, no,
not?
no. In this, they are masquerading as government forces just to give a cover of legitimacy to kill all the other supernaturals and probably regular people.
I mean, they bombed
It's
how many
Pentex.
power plants? 12 different areas. The
Yeah.
Grand Metro train station. One of the oldest one of the oldest cathedrals that was built in Mexico. An actual monument to those who died in the 1911 Mexican Revolution. Do you really blame Pentex for successfully being able to pull this off?
You mean the technocracy? Because Pentex isn't the one doing that.
No, Pentex is the
Pentex
one
is.
disguising their troops as.
Oh, Pentex is the one discussing that. I thought you said that the
If the
technocracy was the one.
that makes sense for the technocracy to do it. But they're not, because
Yeah.
the author needs them to lose, because the authors are shit at writing stories.
But why would it not be the technocracy doing this? Why is it Pentex doing this instead? Because that's not Pentex's MO.
Well, you see, Pentex got to win. The story tells me to, and I can't write anything different because brain dead.
I
Oh.
just
We gotta have.
y-
This is hack writing 101, where you have the thing that you need to happen because fuck you, I need it.
And the rates are going to kill everyone.
Let's be fair.
The-
Let's be fair. They would at this point. They've
They're
probably
gonna kill
that's
fallen.
the
Natural.
wraith object. The wraith objective is total living death.
Well, also keep in mind that this is Mexico City Wraith. It's almost certainly most of them have fallen to their shadows.
That's true, and the Day of the Dead is the only thing that was keeping them anywhere sane, and now that's fucked.
Well, not only that, but like legitimately, the small tribe of Bone Gnars are one of the few things that are capable of forcing those, because again, they're also corrupted by essentially destruction because it's so tainted here.
Yeah.
The Wraith aspect makes total sense to me.
Yeah, I'm just
And-
saying it's
oh,
sort of
and
like
then-
it's a little wild here.
And,
Like-
and then to top it off, at 9 p.m., the Marauders show up.
Because you know,
So we have the Ghost
fuck your
Swarm.
players. You want them dead.
So we have the ghost. So we have Ghost
Oh my-
Hurricane Katrina. We have
Hold on. The Marauders use vulgar magic employing the Time Sphere to send people as much as 1 year forward through time, and when possible, sending vampires exactly 13 hours into the future, at 10 a.m.
what? Oh, so they just instantly die. That's
Yeah.
kind of fucking
Yeah.
funny.
That's clever.
Their purpose is to create chaos to help Sam Haight remain safe.
Well, yeah, because the Marauders are looking what he's doing. Basically, they saw him perform the great destruction, and they're like, hell yeah, this is like the Joker from Batman. Let's fucking join in.
It's like Joker from Joaquin Phoenix's best movie, Joker. I love that character.
Unironically,
We live in a society.
Well, yeah, they have time spheres. I could totally see them like unironically like wandering around cross-eyed handing bootleg VHS tapes of 2019's Joker in 1994.
They're just saying we live in a society. They're just saying that all the time as they're nuking people into the future.
As they're like, you see one of them legitimately dancing down the stairs like
He's just
thrusting.
dancing down the stairs in like fucking clown makeup, and it's just like, what is even happening? Future.
Also, if you're wondering, they can use vulgar magic
No,
because they're crazy.
no. It's what is. Yeah, no. What is happening? You wouldn't get it.
You wouldn't
Sends
get
you-
it.
Sends you into the.
Do you think this
sends you
is
into,
funny?
like,
Yes, it
45
is. Yes, I
BC.
do. And
Yes, it is, and I'm tired of people
tired
saying
of
it isn't.
saying
it's not.
No, he teleports one of the players' vampire. He teleports a player Sabat character to die at 10 a.m. You get what you fucking deserve. If you're wondering, Marauders can pull off this type of bullshit. They completely ignore Paradox because their brains are so cracked. They basically don't care what anyone thinks.
Paradox, whatever.
They burn
Yeah.
hot, they burn fast, and they are wiped quickly. Not because
So
of
we've
But
got
not because of Paradox. They actually ignore it. They actually have
Oh.
the ability to partially just shove it off on nearby mages.
so that means
Yeah.
at night you have marauders sending people through time. You have the Sabbat, the Black Hand, the Somdi,
The Men in Black kill
Pentax,
teams, the Cyborg kill
yeah,
squad by the Technocracy,
and the Men in
Pandemonium,
Black, or not, and
Eldritch
the
Abominations crawling out
Pentax
from the
kill teams,
sewers.
And then Pentex hit teams also
and
all around,
and
and
Oh, and don't forget don't forget heavily mutated and modified Formorians with a variety of abilities picked from other supernaturals.
this, and Mexican ghosts.
Oh yeah,
and
all of
the
them
most
wanting to
spooky
kill.
ghosts, the most spooky ghosts of all, ghosts of little kids trying to rip your soul out.
Yeah, it's
And
not
I'm
great.
assuming the ghosts
Wait, no,
of mariachi
this
bands.
is the fourth day of the dead, because the third day was the last day. Yeah, okay, this is fucking confusing.
I'm also saying there's mariachi
No, wait, that
bands
was
just
yesterday. That was
playing.
the crazy
Yeah,
one.
they're
Okay,
just playing as all this chaos is going on in the streets.
Oh, by the way, the scene for Tradition Mages, the little story segment, they basically hint that one of the players in that Tradition run became a Nefandus because they got caught by Pandemonium. So that's
no,
another
he
thing.
got caught and killed by a Black Spiral dancers.
Yeah, let's be fair. This is very likely to happen. Also, you might be running into former players.
Yeah, actually, they did hint earlier at like one of the characters getting absorbed by
Yeah.
If you're
Pandemonium.
wondering, Pandemonium, since it is legitimately entropy entropy itself, it corrupts whatever it touches pretty casually.
Oh, actually, here they have the timetable for the day. So Sam returns at 4 a.m.
There's no
At 10
reason
a.m.,
for
the
him to have
emergency
left to Jordan.
symposium is called. It's done. It starts at 10:45.
No, it ends.
No, it says the emergency begins at 10:45. At 11:30, they begin their war. Known kindred are pulled from the Acrenal Havens and left to be burned in the sunlight. The few known Garou are shot on sight. Also at 11:30, if the Technocracy report location of the underbelly, the
I'm going to
Technocracy
be
attack the
frank.
underbelly.
I'm going to be frank. If I was a member of the Technocracy at this point, I would. I would report that shit because it needs to be taken out.
12 p.m. to 7. So yeah, so the Technocracy just show up and they will blow up the wormhole.
Oh, hey, I was right. They wiped out one fifth. They wiped out 1/5 of all vampires in the city in less than a
Yep.
day.
Well, at least just from this time. The Technocracy can find no sight of the Garou. That means the Pandemonium retaliate. Oh, and Thunderworms are called. I don't know what those are.
One of the
But they
strongest Bane
sound bad.
creatures that you can run into.
Just a whole bunch of them, casually.
Now, at 7 p.m., the
Reminder:
Kindred
this is
awake.
not an apocalypse scenario.
The Okay, hold on. The Black Hand operatives start embracing the celebrating humans.
That's so stupid.
Who's fucking celebrating?
I mean, wouldn't you celebrate as you're watching like Terminator kill squads just shooting a bunch of people turning into giant dogs? I'd fucking applaud. And then I'd get my throat bit out by a crazy man and then come back from the dead and start applauding some more.
So it's the Black Hand that turns these turns. So now a good number of humans are just now vampires.
Also,
Yeah.
probably fairly low generation because Black Hand members tend to be quite old. Or
Oh,
very
They tend to be
talented.
able to diablerize.
Or they're very
They
So we're
tend to be able
talking
talented,
to.
what?
yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking like 5th, 6th generation.
7th,
We're talking
6th.
7th and 8th usually. Like that's still
Sometimes a
pretty
6th,
fucking
7th,
low.
and 8th. Yeah, it's not great. You're
Oh,
you're you're
I'm just
dealing with like a
imagining
9th
they're
and 8th generation.
Zamisi mass embrace, and they're just you've got the Pandemonium flesh abominations versus the Zamitsi flesh abomination.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't mention
No.
the horde of Slotcha that you'd have to take out.
Then the Thunderworms arrive at 9 p.m.
Yeah, let's just
Along with
make
the
it
Marauders.
worse.
Let's just make it
if
worse.
Harmotsul is alive, then the Marauder then the Marauder rages enter the city. Oh, and if Harmotsul is still alive, Thunderworms attack the Technocracy strongholds. If he's dead, they just start killing everything in
Oh,
sight.
by the way, that means that you see Thunderworms attacking UNAM. the largest university in Mexico City, in direct sunlight, in direct moonlight, with cameras. You know,
I
Yeah.
so
mean, at this point, power's been out for what, 2-3 days?
who gives a shit? You can take photos.
Um,
Polaroids, man.
I'm also assuming any humans are alive at this point.
There's over 20 million of them. Yes, there would still be quite a few around.
Because now
Now,
the
now,
raids
admittedly,
retaliate.
there is the mental illness aspect because a lot of these, when you see that, cause your brain just fries. But
Brain
statistically,
go mush mush.
oh, but here's the
Yeah,
thing: at the end of the day, it's not going to matter. There's too many humans. Eventually, one's going to get that 10 difficulty.
Yeah,
and
statistical.
I'm
by
sorry, this is
if
horseshit.
by 12 a.m., the Garou begin their rite of the dead.
By midnight. Yeah.
That's not going to help.
Yeah. Well, the idea is that the Rite of the Dead will banish all the ghosts back to the underworld.
But they're
Which
not even remotely doing the most damage at all.
no, they're not. So
This is stupid.
yeah.
This is really
So
fucking
basically,
stupid.
if you decided to stay and help, you've got two things. Which is more important, saving the city or killing Sam?
Fuck the city at this point. Let's be
And
fair.
fuck the city. Let's kill Sam. Sam's the one that caused all this shit. He'll do it somewhere else.
No, just fuck everything.
So move on then to
So they also
Chaos
describe
Cubed.
if the technocracy had decided that Mexico City needs to be sanitized, they must be destroyed. I've been seeing the underbelly. If the leaders of conventions are replaced, I don't know how.
I mean, it's been a war. They may be dead.
True, but like, man, this adventure hook's really fucking stupid.
It just started with chaos and has not ended.
Which is why the name is fitting. It's just,
It is a chaos factor.
but at this point, Second
Fuck.
Inquisition should have been in revised. It should have been there since revised.
Oh god, it should have. Yeah, because
I
how do
can't
you
wait for
cover
them to
this up?
explain how the 1993 bombing of
Zapatista revolt?
Mexico.
Question mark smiley face.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that I guess this means most communism and leftism is blamed on this, and it's dead in the entire hemisphere, if not the
They
world.
didn't think that through.
Zero thoughts, head empty.
At least anarchism is gone.
I do have a hilarious mental image though of oh god, a Chronicles of Darkness Mexico could be really fun because I can think of some really goofy shit. Like you could have one of the princes of Mexico City actually be like, yeah, I was drinking buddies with Zapata. He was a smarmy asshole, but God, he knew how to speak. Yeah, wouldn't that you could do some fun shit with that.
You just
I
have
mean, you could, but like,
you have a vampire there who's pretending to be Moctezuma.
No, you have a vampire there who actually claims to be Santa Anna. He's actually not. He is a venturer of the Malkav bloodline who just thinks
No,
he's Santa Anna.
no, I got it. Aventru, Maximilian the First.
there you
That's
go.
World of Darkness, not Chronicles, man.
No, he thinks he's Maximilian the First.
Although a revised World of Darkness Mexico City where you have Maximilian the First as a venturer anti-tribute sounds really hilarious.
Just
There's
the
some
weirdest
beauty there.
French speaking or the weirdest Spanish with a French accent.
The worst
That
possible
sounds
case scenario
generous.
must be played out. Every supernatural must be driven away or destroyed if the technocracy is the survive. Okay. Scene for the it doesn't matter. The Guru are fucked.
They're like, okay,
Yeah,
it's time to go
I'm just
fucking
moving on
kill
to
Sam.
part 4, which starts with a
So
quote from the Grateful Dead.
I may be going to hell in a bucket, baby, but at least I'm enjoying the ride.
So it says that Arizo Vista has been the secret haven of Hootsie for over 300 years.
He's always
Despite
been
him
there,
only
but the
being,
town.
but hold on, despite him only have moved there in 1978.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
had this base for hundreds of years. Moved in 1978.
Maybe it's a timeshare thing.
Maybe he was sharing it with like that other Sabat vampire, and it's just like, oh,
No. Remember, Hootsie had a cabal of other Satan vampires under his thrall as Aztec gods. Maybe he diablerized one of his subordinates and stole it.
I mean, sure.
Makes
Oh,
Why
and
not?
sense.
so, now we're saying, we're there. And next quote is from Metallica.
You can use all these songs you want, but all this is telling me is this is one of the shittiest adventures I've ever read.
Yeah.
This is worse than Berlin in terms of just sheer what the fuckery. Like Berlin also breaks the setting over its knee, but it doesn't do it quite like this for so many splats.
It's less painful, but on the other hand, imagine if this is the culminating saga of your chronicle. Of
If this is the culminating saga of my campaign, I would kill someone. I would legitimately go after my GM with a baseball bat. Like, what the fuck were you thinking?
Like you play you play a guru. You start with Valkenburg, and you're like, oh hell yeah, this is fun. Like as your opener,
Yeah, Rage Against the Amazon. Hell yeah, it's escalating.
Well, no,
It's
after a
like
few chronicles, you don't throw it immediately after.
yeah.
You do a few more.
You're like, okay, it's a little silly, but it's still a good
But
escalation.
then you find
and
out,
Sam's back, and
yeah, Sam is back. You heard about it from some Sabat you murdered, and you're looking for him. And on the trail, you find out he made it to Brazil.
he made it to Brazil.
So you follow him, and
Please,
Rage in the
please
Amazon
come to
happens.
Brazil.
And you barely survive. Maybe you're one of two characters that survived, because that's a pretty rough chronicle as well. Mainly because there's a lot of consecutive battles. You just get worn down. So you and your last other player, you find out where he finally is hiding after several chronicles, just trying to find him along with new characters, and then it's chaos factor.
Yeah.
What would be the part that broke you, when you crawled into hell, or the fact that he magically went to Jordan?
Probably the fact that he went to Jordan, because at this point, him going to hell is already kind of accepted.
No, I think it would be rolling successfully 14 of those dexterity rolls
And then
and
botching the last one?
I would
I'd
flip
leave.
the table.
I would fucking
would
kill
leave.
you, someone. Yeah.
I would just leave. Like, nah, you go fuck yourself.
Well, you need 15 successes total. It's not just like, oh, I need 15 rolls. It's I need 15 successes.
That's
so
still
you need
kind
to
of
roll.
awful.
It is. It is still really awful because ones take away.
Oh man.
So well, if you finally get to Rizzo Vista, if you've been lying in wait, well, if you get there before Hate, you have to fight 3 Bali Kindred of 8th generation.
You have to fight the Pillarman.
Yep. So
you
even
have to
getting
fight
there
the
is hard.
fucking Pillarman.
Yep.
Oh my god, you're right.
You do.
It's the fucking. It's Hootsie Dio?
Ay, 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 ay.
Kono Dioda?
Awaken my masters.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep, the
Then,
Guardians. They're all 8th generation, so have fun.
Oh my god.
And then let's see.
By the way, this is also assuming you
Troop may
even
well
find
decide.
it.
You can also deal a bunch of nasty surprises to the Skinner. As he has several allies with him and a group of marauders watching his every move. He has help that he does not even know about, which is Hootsie. Well, actually, no. It says what no one realizes is that hate is not necessary to Hootsie's plans. Hate has already done all the vampire wanted. By starting a massive war in Mexico City, he has spurred the suffering that helps Hootsie feed on dying souls.
It's kind of stupid that he gains that, but also I guess it makes sense because Pandemonium's a part of him.
Yeah.
He has been
It's
slowly recovering
stupid,
from
but whatever.
torpor for over a week.
The north hidden beneath the stream that feeds the lakes and wells.
He's just. So hold on. He was awake before hate even showed up.
Yeah.
To Mexico City.
There's no reason for him to do any of this other than just because.
It was already awakened.
Yeah.
The Sabbat were fucked.
Yeah.
Yep.
Although, let's be fair, this is something unironically a Bali vampire would do because they do like to cause suffering like this.
Yeah, that's right. If Hootsie's awake, wouldn't all the Bali start acting strange?
Not necessarily.
Well, how many of them are actually active in the city at any one time, too? We got to think about that.
Well, wouldn't it be because of how powerful his blood would be? Wouldn't that affect all of them
I mean,
throughout the
in
world?
later editions, mainly 5th because derp derp herpa derp derp. Yeah, but that's not 5th edition. This is like still 1st edition on the border of revised.
No, this isn't revised. This is like in either second or revised.
Yeah.
I want to say second.
2nd edition seems right.
So, let's see. The God of War watches because of Can. He's about to inherit the world, but first, there is enough time for the conclusion of his little
Oh yeah,
games.
he wanted to just
So,
have Mexico City burn for fun. Like again, Bali. It
so
makes perfect sense.
if hate is victorious, he rewards him with kindred blood, which I believe would that blood bond him?
Yes.
Because he's already a ghoul.
Yes, it might.
And if the troop is victorious,
Now, admittedly, it takes
he will
3
eat them.
sips. No. Now, admittedly, it takes 3 times to drink it. But after the first, it's a lot harder to refuse the other 2.
Kate also has like 10 Fomori and 4 skin dancers with him, by the way.
They really needed to.
So like, how the
Yeah.
fuck are you supposed to survive this?
You're not.
How in the hell are you supposed to survive any of this at this point?
Especially since your numbers are almost certainly thinned by this point because you survived Chaos Cubed.
You survived
And
Chaos
how much
Cube.
damage
You
do you
survived
have?
the goddamn Hell Pit. And now
Like-
it's like a DPS check. It's like, how fast can you kill 3 werewolves in war form?
Oh,
I
God
can
help
only
you
see
if
mages.
you're.
And only mages. I'd say mages and fucking Methuselah.
They would have to be combat spec fucking mages too. Like this is not
There's
like an
only-
adventure.
There's only a couple of formations that could survive this. One,
Yeah.
you're all Guru. You're all pretty experienced Guru, but the problem is you've almost certainly lost at least one of your number to Pandemonium at this point. Likely had to kill them when they became a Black Spiral Dancer. You probably lost another either during Chaos Squared or Cubed. The Marauders might have intentionally blipped one of your players to a year from now, so that's gone. Maybe you hijack one of the Bone Gnawers, but there's no way. There's no way they would want to. Especially since they had to do the ritual.
Also, hold on. Mary, the Wanderer, she's gone.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's not going to help you.
It's not going to help you, but if you've interacted with her and she somehow is still allied with hate, that's fucked you up as well.
That's horseshit. Yeah. For mages, there's 2 ways you could do this. You either Batman plan this, which you're not going to be able to predict this shit. Not unless you've read the book, in which case you would also know that you should just walk up and leave. You should just say fuck you to the ST and leave.
I got the solution for mages. You somehow survive the
Life
first
5.
days.
You need a sphere of
Or no,
5
actually,
in life at least.
As soon as you find the Paraiso Vista, teleport to the wherever the technocracy is, and just say satellite laser this location.
They're not going to believe you. They're too busy purging people in Mexico City. That's the point.
I mean, you tell them that's where the
Now,
all the bad
if you
people
were
are.
like part of the consortium, maybe, but the whole idea is by the time you even have a chance, it's too late. Like that's what the ST would probably say. Because they want this awful fucking bullshit to happen.
Then hijack the laser.
Now a solution maybe is if you play around with connections, you might be able to get one of their hit squads on, which having a few Terminators might help. You might
Yeah,
get
like
lucky and have a couple men in black to assist you.
I genuinely do not understand
You'd have to pull
how
connections.
this was supposed to work.
Maybe the whole concept is you're supposed to pull connections, but like, unless you're Sabbat or fucking Technocracy, that's not happening. The Guru are too weak. There's only 10 of them, and they are not dedicated to dying out completely. Because if they do,
Oh,
Mexico City is completely under worm thrall. There's nothing left.
So here's something they said: if the troop prepares for Hate's arrival, they can mend their wounds.
That's not
They
going
have
to help
suffered in
you.
clearing the town of its inhabitants. They could also call for reinforcements. There are plenty among the traditions in Garou who would dearly love to get their hands on Sam.
Where? The technocracy wiped all of them. Remember, dumbass?
Well, okay, from
There's also the
elsewhere for the
possibility.
Garou, because you could moonbridge to this area and not to Mexico City directly.
There's
That
also
seems like
this.
a that seems like a
That
horseshit argument, because wouldn't Hootsie just
uh,
intentionally put a backdoor to prevent that?
possibly, but
Possibly, but I would
you
be
could also
surprised if
have
he did.
you could also have your own army.
I mean, that is a. I mean, if you're desperate, okay. Here's a weird idea. Yeah, you could unironically pull what the Black Hand did, and out of desperation, embrace a few shovel heads. I mean, that's something you could do. It's reprehensible, but
Uh,
maybe.
however, against you is hate, 10 for Mori, and 4 skin dancers, and the sun lamp.
Oh yeah,
Which
that is something that just completely fries anything.
well, yeah, sleeper, severe sunburn. Um, the lamp does 4 levels of aggravated damage to
Yeah.
vampires and 4 levels of damage to anyone else.
Yep.
This damage is on a per turn basis.
Yep. Now lethal is
Is
survivable quite a
may
bit, but this is still bullshit.
may provoke rote Shrek.
Yeah, it should.
May be dodged. You can dodge this attack.
3 or more successes blind the target. 5 or more may blind him permanently.
Yep.
It is dodgeable though.
Uh, Combine that with the 10 for Mori and 4 skin dancers.
If you're in a vampire group, you're fucked.
You're dead. There's nothing you can do.
And Hate has a scaff.
Oh yeah, the staff, which has fucked Jillian quintessence.
Now if Hate gets there first,
Which
he does not
he
want to.
will probably, because let's be fair, by this point, most of you are dead.
All of Hate's servants carry automatic weapons and are capable of unarmed combat. Skin dancers appear as normal people. If confronted, they turn to Krynos form. If the group looks to be losing players, Skinner will make his presence known. Skinner has no patience for interference, and he will use vulgar magic to make his point clear.
Which is kind of dumb, because he's already kind of aware. Isn't he kind of aware that
However,
he's on a ticking
nothing
time
has
clock?
yeah, none of the minions have counter magic though, so you can just nuke them if you're mages.
Yeah.
It's just turn. You just have 14 lawn chairs outside
Magic
as
will
soon
always
as
have its
Hate comes there.
full effect. At that point, oh god, I just keep wondering how come Hayes' little minions weren't wiped at any of the kill squads at all. Like, that's kind of horseshit.
He might have started out with a lot more. We don't know.
We don't know. Come on, it's Samuel Hay. They probably didn't even think. He has as
True.
many minions as the writers demand he needs for this time.
Turns out he had a couple of demons with him.
What?
This
Okay,
is so
whatever.
This is horseshit.
I'm joking. I'm just saying, like,
No, not with
his
Chaos
demons,
Factor.
Alright.
You can't joke about that, because that feels like something
Yeah,
they'd
they
fucking
would-
bust out.
Yes.
Here's their advice for running the final battle, by the way. The climax of this tale should be epic. Hate has become a grand figure in the world of darkness. His death should be a triumph for those who have come so far and risked so much to kill him. Whether the Skinner goes down beneath the claws of a Garou, a vampire's fangs, or a mage's magic, his fall should shake the world. The Staff of the World Tree is a symbol of all that Hate has become, bloated with stolen power and ready to blow. Whatever happens to Hate, the staff should follow him into oblivion. Its demolition represents a brutal kind of rebirth and the transformation of the land. Allow them to kill him personally. Make them work for it, but pay them off for their efforts. Give them hints to overcome his firepower. Shift the terrain and make the fight dramatic, and keep a long drawn out die rolls to a minimum. If and when Shaitan emerges, make him frightening but evasive. He should not stick around to fight. Mortals are not worth his time. Narrative combat. This
Oh, by
story
the
is
way,
survival.
Hootsie had another name. It was Shaitan.
Yes, as I mentioned before. So this basically confirms he was a Bali. So the If one of your turns
Not
make him
just a
frightening but
Bali.
evasive.
No, you forgot the worst part. Not just a Bali. Possibly the equivalent to a not just a Methuselah, but maybe even an antediluvian for them, because he might be the
Yeah.
longest surviving one left. And it's
Yeah,
heavily
he should not
hinted that
stick
he
around to fight.
diablerized someone to get to that
Yeah.
generation.
Storytellers are advised to let the background blaze away behind parry characters. Describe the roaring flames and chattering guns without rolling for the location of every bullet. Play fast and loose with combat rolls and encourage your troop to perform tricks and crazy stunts. Let daring and cleverness win the battle, not brute force.
Cleverness. You're dealing with 14v fucking 3 probably, because your parties are going to be smaller in a World of Darkness game.
So, yeah.
Go
Battle
fuck
map.
yourself.
A full color battle map in this book can be used with the climactic struggle inside his haven. If you use miniatures in your game, you can play out the confrontation in the mountainside with this map.
Go fuck
And
yourself.
What
statistics.
miniatures would you have?
You might have a
For
few.
simplicity. For
Oh,
I
you
don't
know
know
what you could use?
minifigures for
No,
your Legos. I don't fucking know.
You know what you could use? That Games Workshop wizard with a submachine gun.
Yeah, so for simplicity, you may consider Hoyts for Mori to be two good shot characters. They'll fall after getting hit for 4 health levels or more. Give them a firearms and melee dice pool of 7 with a base difficulty of 6 to hit. And hand attack attacks will be 4 dice, while the firearm should do 7 plus 1 per success rolled. This will greatly speed combat.
Or alternatively, I just thought about that. Or alternatively, don't have 10 goddamn Fomori with him, you fucking mongoloid retards.
Right. So if he beats you there to the Parisa Vista, he's out in the open, moving there, and he's no longer going to be as easy to escape for him. So if he gets there, whether or not he reaches his destination, Huitzilopochtli decided the time has come to make his presence known. And he's
also quote from Alice in Chains.
Yep, of course. And his true name is Shaitan. He has served the demons of hell for almost 6,500 years. The purpose of his sacrifices is simple. The power gained for the released souls is enough to awaken his brethren. The other 12 fourth generation Bali, the time of Gehenna is one step closer.
Yes, Shaitan is their strongest Methuselah. He's also unofficially the equivalent of an antediluvian. Bali never had them, but these 13, yes, there's 13, were the first, were probably the first to actually figure out how to become Bali. You're dealing with those who have seen and corrupted Carthage. You are those who saw and created the cult of Moloch. Hell, Moloch was likely one of the 12.
So,
That is how old all of them are. Them alone probably rival the Ravnos antediluvian waking up.
Shaitan is a very powerful figure. Terrifying to behold. And you need at least 3 successes on a willpower roll with difficulty 8 to even attack him.
That's fair, because he's basically a baby antediluvian almost. He's
Yeah,
he's a pale shadow of one, but like, no,
he's
done.
just murdering civilians.
However, he does know fear, in that he has no idea what the fuck this shit is being shot at him is. He's a little bit terrified by explosives and modern magic. So, like the sun lamp, for example. If he sees the sun lamp, he's like, okay, that's enough. Goodbye.
It's probably your only chance because, yeah.
And if you get there first, though, the Skinner must die.
You know what I realized you could probably do? Just go vulgar magic, teleport him into the morning.
That's true. You could.
Hypothetically, but Shaitan is powerful.
A 4th generation fucking vampire. Like,
a souped up 4th generation vampire who has diablerized fuck tons of souls.
Yeah. Anyway, if the troop gives Samuel Hayth their best shot, if they succeed in their own, let them have the glory of ripping his skin from his bones or draining his blood. If they're too battered at this point to take him down, other factors come into play. The staff has become a paradox battery, absorbing incoming magic and the Skinner's own paradox leakage. It's taken about all it can actually handle. Basically put, any mage with 1 or more dots in Prime will see what's about to happen. When he's absorbed more than 5 magical attacks or has fired more than 5 vulture magical effects, the staff deactivates. With his next usage, the staff cracks, and he takes the full damage of the attack or the paradox. If he's struck even once more, and that includes the impact of falling dead or unconscious on the ground, the staff will fucking explode.
Killing everyone,
Yes.
including you.
Only blind luck saves any of the troop. If Shaitan was around, he'll be gone. 10 aggravated damage rips into the following town in the mountain. Basically, everyone is fucked. And they have a picture of Sam exploding on the next page.
Which might be
Which
the best
is
thing in this
The
book.
best picture in this entire book. Hallelujah.
Here it is.
Hold on. Do I have a soundboard for this?
While you set that up, I'm actually gonna part's actually kind of interesting. So yeah, the big drawn fight. Since if you
And
win the
quote-
race, you have to fight him.
And quote from Rush.
Also,
we go.
yes, Shaitan it completely ignores height if he
That's good enough.
if he's fighting.
Yeah. The Skinner is dead. The brittle bones are fused into one solid lump. There's a hideous odor like burnt hair and stagnant water coming from the remains.
Oh, by the way, if and
there's
when the staff explodes, yeah, everyone's dead.
But
the
they
characters
do
should
say,
live through the
yeah,
explosion.
You shouldn't let them die.
Go
They're
fuck
gonna
your.
at least see.
No.
They're gonna at least see his dead body and realize, yep, we've won. He's going with us.
The troop doesn't suffer
Oh.
10 levels of aggravated damage. No, you can't do this.
You know,
It's one paragraph to the next. What is this? Modern Hollywood writing?
oh, you know what then? Then you start the Wraith game.
This is where you start your Wraith game because that's what's happened.
With Sam Hyde as an
Sam Hyde's
NPC.
ghost, and you get to drag him to be soul forged into an ashtray. That's how this
Which
happens.
is his canonic ending, by the way.
Yes, it is. So
everyone's dead.
Everyone's
The
fucking
end.
dead. The end. Aftermath, by the way, because why the fuck would you not have an? Why the fuck? Why the
With
fuck
a
would you
quote
have an
from
aftermath? Like what is
No, I mean,
even
at
there
this point,
to have?
no. What would happen is
Wait,
okay,
hold on. With a quote from 9 Inch Nails.
It doesn't. I don't care. You're dead. Your characters are all dead.
I'm just pointing out every quote.
That's if the staff exploded, though.
Which is almost certainly guaranteed, especially if you're in a mage party.
True.
You might also probably be dead by your wounds.
Oh, that's the other thing, because reminder, it seems he also uses it to deflect damage. So, like, if you hurt him enough, yeah, you'll still explode and die.
Here's the explanation. The technocracy dismisses the events of the past days as a civil uprising, followed by a blackout, rioting, and an earthquake.
No. Also, only
Heck,
hundreds.
do you have
Go
anything in your
fuck
soundboard
yourself.
for
Only hundreds
or
are dead
just
in this. What the
fuck
fuck are you
off.
talking about?
100?
The Underbelly
Mexico's
of the Worm was held in.
Oh, however, the Inquisition and the Celestial Chorus soon receives an influx of new believers.
Journalists worldwide will search for answers.
No, they'll find him. I'm sorry. Fuck off.
The Underbelly, now that Shaitan is gone, all the factions in there start killing themselves. They're killing each other. The technocracy still intends to destroy the supernaturals, but they now have a few problems of their own, which is that they now have to explain what the people
too
in
obvious,
Mexico City now have to
apparently.
explain what the fuck happened.
So this is what happened. So here's what I think happened. This was the sober after party realization of how fucking stupid this splat is.
They had to figure out what the fuck actually happened. So the Underbelly's gone, and everyone else is fighting each other.
Which makes makes it pointless and sad. And yeah, there's okay.
I mean, that makes some sense.
Some sense, but like you set up this entirely interesting horror, and then you never play with it.
And now
again.
it's gonna fall apart. Yeah, because Shaitan's no longer there to keep everything from falling apart.
However,
crap.
Whatever emerges as the survivor is going to be terrifying to behold.
That is true.
Yeah, maybe.
The technocracy is still trying to destroy everything, and the conventions can't tolerate so blatant an assault. So this means that the technocracy is going to be clearing house in Mexico City, including themselves.
Which makes some sense, but like, okay.
The
The
Sabbat are
tapestry has been badly rent, so there's shallowings and
No shit.
spontaneous awakenings are tapering off. It's not good.
the Sabbat lost many of their own,
lost a
and they
fifth of
lost
their
their power
number, yeah.
base. The Somni and the Giovanni might stick around. The Bone Gnawers have suffered a lot because their home's gone, and everything that they've cared for is thrown into the winds of war and chaos. And Pentex has survived the destruction with little damage.
Conveniently.
And NAFTA somehow still holds much potential
Okay.
in a situation where the Mexican government has most likely been decapitated.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
for all you know, the president at the time might have gotten killed.
Then let's not also forget that we have a 13th
was the-
generation.
let me-
We have a 4th generation Bali loose.
Oh, now I
Yeah.
remember. So before we get into that, there's an entire possibility that the guy who died. Oh man, what was his name? De Goltari, I think, or something. I think that was his name, De Soltari. He might be dead.
Oh, and let's say the PRI is probably going to be blamed for this, and they're gone as a party.
They're not going as a
They
party. They're too good at corruption.
So
but they're probably losing the next
But
election.
they might actually lose an election, possibly.
This is probably the worst disaster that will ever occur in Mexico.
Nah,
This
not
has
since the
destro-
earthquake 10 years prior.
No, this is as much as they try to hide it. This is worse. The entire city was without power for several days as supernatural creatures murdered each other.
By the way, there's no fucking way there's no fucking way it's believable that people didn't film that.
It will get out, and
Yeah.
so the masquerade's probably breached.
This should have been a masquerade breach scenario.
So have fun with the fact that now the masquerade's over.
Oh, and also have fun that Shaitan didn't die because he escaped.
And so now a bunch of demon worshipping Baali are running around, probably murdering more people.
Oh yeah, there's a non-zero chance Mexico City might become the new Carthage for all you know.
And congratulations, most likely the Baali are probably in the Middle East, so goodbye Middle East.
Well, not
Hello,
necessarily. Shaitan might
hello,
decide to stay in.
Gehenna.
Yeah.
Yeah, hello
Yeah,
Gehenna, if you don't fucking shut this shit down. So, Shaitan gets his stat book. I want to note this. This is one of the funniest things about lore I've ever seen. He has Sewer Lore 3.
Yes, he does.
Hold on, with a quote from Warren Zevon.
Whatever.
I don't care about the quotes, man. At this point,
We
I really
don't.
can't be bothered.
I'm
Anyway,
just
I don't care.
anyway, they go through a basic stuff of blah blah blah.
Oh, by the way, if
Shaitan,
you're
Baal,
wondering,
blah blah blah.
well, no, I want to explain. So Ashur, that is possibly their equivalent of an antediluvian, but it's actually more thought based on meta plot to be the location where the Bali rituals were discovered. Because much like the Tremere, Bali are not naturally created. They are not a natural bloodline.
They're definitely not. They have their own clan book, by the way, that's from Dark Ages. It is as horrifying as you would think.
By the way, they had a bunch of different paths.
Yes.
yeah. He's got etiquette 1.
Yeah, he's got virtues are treachery, cruelty, and courage.
Mm-hmm.
All at 5, naturally.
Humanity 0.
He's on a path of evil revelations 10.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Derangement's obsession. He feels he must corrupt all of humanity to please Baal. Naturally, he is right. Blood tool, 50 out of 10.
Yeah.
So he's got
Celerity 6, Daimonia 9, which is extremely horrifying. Dominate 9.
Yeah, that is
Presence 9. Potence 9.
Chemistry 6, Demontation 8, Dominate 9,
Fortitude 7.
Thaumaturgy 4, and Viscerata 3. Okay.
No, Thaumaturgy 7, actually.
No, Thaumaturgy 4. You're thinking
Dark Thaumaturgy 7.
Dark Thaumaturgy 7. So, yeah. Normal ranking, reduced by 2 when freshly awakened, as if 7 points of animalism, as if 7 points of fucking presence isn't already like, oh,
To give
you're
you
all
an
fucking
idea,
dead.
This guy, while he would lose to an antediluvian, he'd give a hell of a fight before going down.
Yeah, and that's when he's fully at his power. Luckily, he's only recently woken up for you guys, so he's still theoretically killable.
No, he's not.
Um,
No, he
no, he's
goddamn
not.
isn't for you.
You're still gonna you're still gonna fucking die.
Because, like even
holy fuck.
Fortitude 5, he can soak that sun lamp like it's nothing.
Yeah, he just doesn't want to.
It's
So they
Ball.
actually say he was a slave in the Second City, and he was the favorite servant of Asher.
Again,
Okay.
Asher might be an actual character. It might actually just be this another city where the ritual was founded.
Anyone who does not succumb to your power, by the way, is not worth acknowledging unless they have true faith. Ignore the weak, destroy the strong.
Yep.
This time we then have our final picture of the man, the myth, the legend, Samuel Haight.
There he is.
Fuck is with that eye patch.
He lost an eye.
I don't know.
When?
So he's
No clue.
he's
Peter-
essence is demonic, his auspice is the urge, his tradition is orphan, his nature is deviant. Yeah, no shit. So
By
here's
this one,
his
yeah.
here's his stats, by the way. Strength 5, dexterity 3, stamina 5, charisma 5, manipulation 5, appearance 2, perception 4, intelligence 4, wits 4, with alertness 4, athletics 4, brawl 3, dodge 4, intimidation 5, primal urge 3, streetwise 3, subterfuge 4. Animal can drive. He's got 5 in firearms now. Meditation 4, melee 4, leadership 5, stealth 4, and survival 5. He's really bulked up since his first appearance. You can already kind of see this.
Avatar 5 as well. Fetish 5. He has already 5.
Library 4 and resources
Gnosis
5.
8. Quintessence
Gnosis
8.
8 and rage 10.
Oh, he's also recently picked up Spirit 4. He didn't have that
Yep.
previously.
Yeah, he's got correspondence 2, entropy 3, forces 3, life 2, matter 3, prime 2, and spirit
Life
4.
2
Yeah.
isn't too impressive, but it
He
still
also has
makes that annoying.
he also has 9 dice for counter magic.
Yep.
Yep.
Magic's not going to stick to him. And reminder,
his
he
rote-
can enter Krynos form and just destroy you that way.
His notes are pretty good. He has no clue with how much power he has. Yeah. It's not going. Then don't forget his gifts because he's got that. He also knows thaumaturgy. He knows several of which. He has movement of the mind 3, lure of flames 2, weather control 2, and spirit thaumaturgy 1.
Because this was when thaumaturgy for him was used for rituals.
Yep. And we'll talk about all this. And
we talked about it in a special.
Yeah, we talked about all this in the special. It's kind of nuts. Any case, he's kind of like notes Sam Haight must die.
Yep.
Yes. His death can be as dramatic or ignominious as your troop prefers, but he must not survive this.
Mainly because they finally got sick of him and they wanted to basically for second edition prevent template bullshit that allowed Sam to exist.
Yeah. There's a little bit more about Paradox and a few other things towards the end of this for crossover stuff.
They mentioned the golems from Jordan, which who gives a shit?
And then we have horrible CGI generated hex maps for the last few pages.
And the skin dancers.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is actually... Oh, they don't even give much about them. It's just a little page.
Yeah. We'd have to wait for a while to get more write-ups on them. But yes, the last 4 pages of this book are amazing. Look at this. Look at this early 90s CGI.
Oh no, there's also Paradox in the Chaos Factor because...
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of that flying around.
Also, because just Sam's staff. But which, by the way, it starts with 200 quintessence. Geometric increase of Paradox each time he uses it.
Yeah, not fun.
And also, by the end of day 5, if you're using magic, normal magic, the ones that you try to use for convenience, the ones that you use logic to explain, 2 difficulty. Extra 2 difficulty. Vulgar's +4.
Yeah.
Fun.
How the fuck do
Fun.
you beat this?
You don't. You just
You
die.
don't. You just die. Like I cannot see a party making it through this adventure without some real ass pulls
Also,
or
what is
some
with this
really
awkward
optimized builds.
battle? What's with this awkward BattleTech hex map?
This is meant to be like the
Truth is
final
hard to
map for the
find.
final fight, which is just okay. I don't understand why.
Oh yeah, this is them trying to justify why they all held idiot balls for the entire stupid adventure.
Yep.
Crossover rules, power level.
Yep, this is the first attempt that they really did for making a crossover game workable. It did not work out at all. It was so fucking bad that no one else tried it for a long fucking time for very good reason.
Also, it's like there's no point in adding these last few pages. This is kind of stupid.
Yep.
Oh, you know
Well,
what's
I
also
guess
really stupid? The Inquisition was never, the Society of Leopold was never used at all.
never used.
They mentioned them too.
Yep. They mention them, they do not use them. So that was Chaos Factor. The back of
No,
it
no, no.
as
Before
as
we do,
expected.
let's show the horrible battle maps. There they are. Oh my God, they look terrible. I've made better in MS Paint. I'm not kidding. I have literally made better maps than MS fucking Paint.
It screams 90s CGI.
It does.
As
It
done
really
by a
does.
person who doesn't know how to use it. God, that's awful. There we go. That's Chaos Factor. Jesus fucking wept.
You can also now see why I wanted this section split off.
Yeah.
Oh god, we would have not gotten to it.
2.5 hours to cover that.
Yeah.
And we did not go off track that much either. So, okay, now's the time in the book where we get to actually rate it. This is a fun dumpster fire for me. Every aspect of Mexico City is terrible. The character selection they give you is mostly terrible. There's a few cool ones, but there's not many. It doesn't really feel like an actual city. It is a pale imitation of even Berlin by Night with the character rosters with the city. That's terrible. But the adventure is so stupid and so awful that it's almost entertaining once you know what you're talking about.
You know what I realized? They explain what would happen or why the different factions would arrive, what's going on in the city, but they don't explain what you would be doing. Like, I remember in the Chicago book, they indicate possible adventures or possible creatures and things you can encounter. And it just says there are these forces fighting in the city, but it doesn't say, oh, you could encounter this, or, like a bunch of Garou fighting a hit squad, or
Oh yeah,
the Society
there's
of
no
Leopold fighting
scenarios.
vampires.
Yeah, there's no scenarios whatsoever. I think a lot of it's because they just really wanted to focus on Sam, which is, I think, to the detriment of this book. Mainly because this to me kind of shows White Wolf at its worst when it comes to the writing department. And it's also why, while I think 5th edition's goddamn terrible, sometimes I think the rose goggles are on when people when think of World of Darkness's older stuff.
They often are. There is some good stuff in Old World of
Oh,
Darkness.
Chicago by Night was so beautiful as a book. You can easily see why it became such a popular franchise just from that.
Yeah,
It,
Chicago by Night was such a damn like you can see exactly what they're trying to do
and then they made
in
Chaos
the
Factor, which,
yeah.
And the sad thing
Then
is the
yeah.
concept and logic makes perfect sense. Of course, the technocracy would probably make it here. I think it's kind of silly, given that, given Spain's emphasis on traditions and Catholicism, you probably should have had them get into a big war with the voices of the choir. I'd have them be an equally large factor. Pentex polluting the area makes perfect sense. They got a lot of deals from from Americans during the 1940s. Fair enough. The Sabbat makes perfect sense. They used the church early on. La Sombra were basically big movers and shakers in the Catholic Church. Makes perfect sense. But the characters don't feel right. Actually, yeah, the characters don't feel right at all. There's no kind of natural vibe. There's no natural energy. And that's saying a
The
lot because there's some
characters,
pretty wacky characters in Chicago.
yeah, like Chicago is just such a wild place compared to Mexico City, which is something that you wouldn't expect to say when we're talking about this book, but it's the case.
Yeah, because
Chicago
besides
is a much better.
Punch Mage and Machete, that's the only ones I really remember. I mean, also the three Marauders. Well, mainly one of them because he's Charles Manson, but you know.
But yeah, like the factor of this is that this is not a book that it tries to pretend to be a city book, and it doesn't do a city book well. It tries to pretend to be an adventure book. It doesn't do that well. It tries to pretend to be a crossover book. It doesn't do that well
It
either.
doesn't even try.
There's
It doesn't even
it's
try
like
for the
the
last one.
yeah, I just do not understand who this book is for.
You know, the bad part is they mentioned the ghosts and everything. They only have two examples, the Corpse Bride and Mictlan, and they don't even use anything for Mictlan.
Yeah, why don't they don't use any of that? It's like
They
somebody
mentioned the
started the
Society of Leopold. Don't do anything with it.
you let me put it like this, right? I think that this here is a absolute joke when it comes to like how do you design a book? Because I think that they had an idea at the start and then they decided that the best idea to make sure that their Mexico City book would try to sell was merging it with another book. Well, the problem is that this is not something you can do with the page count that they put as probably a top limit. Like, what the fuck?
Also, on top
How
of
do
that,
you?
Sam Hake's mostly a werewolf antagonist. No one's gonna give a shit if you're a vampire. And this was marketed as a mage book. Yeah,
Yes, it was.
they might have had the one where he was in it, but they're like, who's this asshole?
Yeah,
That's
like
gonna be their
he did
opinion.
show up in a mage book, and then he's there, and it's like
That's it.
you got a good point of like why is he there from this point? It just does not make any sense.
I'd understand if
Uh
this was marketed as a werewolf the apocalypse book.
Yeah,
I
this
mean,
will work for werewolf, but
no, it doesn't work for werewolf because of all the shit they throw at you. Basically,
I,
the
I meant
adventure hook is
if it was Rage Across Mexico.
a Rage Across Mexico book would actually be amazing.
You cut out all of the mage shit, all the vampire shit, and at the end of it, it is um almost like I guess in a westerner sense, you're tracking down, the depraved killer Sam Haight as he's trying to find this uh tomb of a you know ancient creature. You find him, you track him down, try to get to that where he's going before that. If he goes there, congratulations, you gotta now fight whatever he's summoned and hate. And if you win, it's one heck of a renown.
I have an amazing idea. Okay, so the Rage Across Mexico concept. Rage Across the Amazon is them trying to protect the greenest part, the most powerful source of Gaia from the rapacious energy of Pentex. Yeah, it's the Eternal Death War. Rage Across
right.
Mexico should be a taste of what the apocalypse is like. Pentex
Oh,
is one. The worm is in control in several parts. You see what it becomes. And as for the adventure against Hague, I would actually emphasize Pandemonium more. He seeks to find this essentially wormhole, this powerfully deep wormhole. And the big twist is, yes, the Bali is down there. Shaitan. You can keep the bit with Hootsie, aka Shaitan, but that should be the twist. And they don't ever explain it, at least initially, why he's down there until you find out he wants to become immortal by draining the blood. And after a final epic battle, you sacrifice yourselves basically to kill him. Because let's be fair, the Paradox staff is going to kill you. But in the process, the paradox also wipes the wormhole. Congrats,
Oh,
you might have actually given Mexico a chance to survive.
that that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's how you end a Werewolf Chronicle.
That would be a very fitting way to end a Werewolf Chronicle. Yes, you die, but through your antics, you not only kind of, well, I mean, you didn't necessarily clean it because Paradox don't work like that. Paradox do a lot of horrible things, but it's still better than what was there before.
It's a lot better than what was there before.
But yeah, no, they tried to fit 2 books. They tried to outdo Rage Across the Amazon, which was really fucking stupid in my opinion.
Rage Across the Amazon, when it was itself, was fun. Like,
I mean, I didn't like
I
what they
found
did with Sam, but I mean, he fits for the tone. He fits for the adventure style.
like the adventure itself in Rage Against the Amazon. I did not actually have that many problems with it.
I felt that it got
I
a little too gauntlety near the end.
It did, but I think that the basic idea of it, which is a race against, a villain that we've seen before, that you might have used before, is a good one.
And he's
It's a
evolved
great
somewhat,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, and he's gotten better, and so have you. So now the challenge is higher, and I think that that's a good way to do a recurring antagonist in an RPG game.
Then they
And
did
really
it
almost
here again.
then they did it here again, and they didn't actually make him any better. They just made it so that you don't
And his
find
plot
them until the last
contrivances
bit.
are absolutely nonsensical.
It's like, okay, so why didn't he just, why did he bomb half Mexico City when he could have just walked fucking in there? Why did he do all this stuff? Why did he do all that stuff?
He literally can just walk in with like $50 American and he can bribe his way to what he needs.
Yes, you just give the man 20 pesos,
I mean,
also known as 20 cents
yeah,
at this point.
it's not hard. It's not hard. I mean,
Yeah.
even then, he has spheres. Use them. He has spheres. Use them. He has werewolf abilities. Use them. He has vampiric lore. Use it. That's the whole point. Like you, and even if you want him to stage a little blood war in Mexico City, all you have to do is like firebomb the archbishop. He has the ability, like he has the cunning craziness. He's a hunter, he specializes in taking shit down. All he has to do is find what they usually go and make it look like technocracy is deciding to do a reshuffle of the city. There's no reason to do it except maybe to get people off his trail. But I mean, that would make sense. That's the kind of the problem with this book. It like because they were condensed by writing time and oh god. And honestly, the initial idea was just flawed in my opinion.
Well, it is flawed because it's like, okay, here's a guy that we've given all of this shit to. Like, that's the other thing here. Sam by this point is a meme character. He is memed on by the writers themselves, by the way.
Yep.
At this point, they basically realized they've made a mistake, and they decided that the best way to deal with that mistake is to get rid of him in the most bombastic way possible. And they did that.
To the detriment of one of the
detriment of everything else.
Well, no, it's to the detriment because remember, Mexico City is the capital of the Sabbat, basically.
Yeah, and we spend less time talking about the Sabbat than we do about the fucking mages.
We barely even talk about the mages.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, this is a mage book. I want to note that. This is a mage book covering Mexico City.
And I think the Garuk got slightly more than the mages. And the Sabbat, like, that's their city, and there's, like, fucking nothing.
This book is such a weird one, even in context, that it goes down as one of those books where if this is your first World of Darkness product, I have no idea what to say to you. Like, you walked in, you stepped open, you opened this book and like, oh, this World of Darkness thing is interesting. Oh, look at this guy in the front. What does this mean? And then you are completely lost.
No, it's even funnier.
Thing.
It's even funnier because imagine you're like, oh yeah, I have a friend who likes to play Mage the Accension, and he showed me this really cool character idea where he was playing a verbena who specializes in cooking. He was playing Gordon Ramsay wizard. So he's like, okay, I want to play Mage, and he picks this book up.
He picks this book up and has no idea what to say about Mage after this. Like, what is this book even about? At the end of the day, nothing. It's not a good Mexico City guide. It's not a good adventure guide. It's a good way to get rid of a character that was memeable as hell.
I mean, his death is cool, but that's like the only thing.
Yeah, his death is memorable, where it's like he either explodes a mountain or you defeat him. One of the two happens. And that's a good way to go out for a character like this. It's just that, by God, did it have to be its own fucking book that was tied into another one?
On top
Couldn't
of
you
that,
have put this
did
into
you
its
have
own
to?
adventure?
On top of that, did you have to make it in a way where basically you're gonna run through your entire team at least once? The entire troop's gonna be dead at least at some point.
Yeah, why is there the giant Satan pit? Why was that
Well,
have
no,
to
I
be part
love
of
that
this
concept.
book?
Unironically, if they did a Mexico City by night, I would keep it. I would keep
Yeah, like
Pandemonium.
it's not a bad concept, but why is it in this book as part of this adventure?
And why is it one and done?
Yeah, you just go there once and then it's done. It's not like, oh, you
You
have
not
to go
just go there
deeper into the pit.
once. It's not just you go there once. It's at the end of the adventure, it completely collapses too.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like, oh, there's an interesting thing,
Because
and
it's
we're getting rid
interesting,
of it.
horrifying. It really reflects the corruption of united forces of entropy. Because that's the other thing. This is the first attempt to bridge the unification between all these different splats, between creation, stasis, and entropy.
You want to know the worst thing about this? If I had to give this book a rating, it would be like so bad it's kind of good.
That's why, that's dumpster fire.
Yeah, it's so bad it's kind of good. It's kind of entertaining. You get to look at like some of the art in this is genuinely fun 90s art.
Oh, there's
Like
a
there's a
reason I
werewolf.
made it the thumbnail.
There's a
poorly
werewolf ripping a guy's arm off. There's the Bali art.
You
There's
forgot the
like
black spiral dancer in the sombrero.
yeah, there's that
Yeah.
too.
There's this meat seed that's now a car.
Yeah, there's that, which is a car turtle, by the way.
Car turtle.
Because why the fuck not? There's like the Sam getting obliterated by the staff. Which is just
Also,
a
on top
fun
of that,
image.
again, Shaitens, aka Huchipotli. Cool idea. I like him as a potential major like threat.
It's
Him
just
being
everything else
active is
around him.
stupid. Him being active is kind of stupid, but I like the concept.
There's everything else around him that's a problem. Like the entire Aztec religion is actually a plot of the Bali. Like, come the fuck on.
That's on par with using BOPE or the Chechnya thing.
Yeah, it's like, are you really deciding that an entire group of people, a large group of people, by the way, this wasn't just the Aztecs.
And while their religion
their
may be
entire
dead, their culture, their people and culture still live.
Yeah, in a different form, but they still live on. And it's like this entire culture was not only wrong, but being puppeted by a vampire because he could, basically.
You know what
Like-
might have made more sense is if you found out the priesthood of the Aztec empires tended to be vampires.
That's another thing. You could say like,
Yeah.
oh, the priesthood is we're blood bonded to this vampire. And that's part of why like the sacrifices were so grand. That's something you could do.
Like
Not-
they
no, he
they
was an
were
actual
always
god.
like this before, because in times of ill omen, it was good to sacrifice a person.
It-
The vampires
also
just
like-
made it worse.
Mind you, they already sort of did this with Mithras, over in London.
Of course they did.
But Mithras is a character where it's like, yeah, I can see that happening where he took a local blood cult and just made it himself. Like, that's something. I can see that. Vampires are egotistical enough to try to set themselves up as gods, but
Yeah, again, that's why him being Hootsie makes some sense, but like it's
it's the rest of it.
the
right?
only reason I'm not mad is because Berlin by Night inoculated me. The causing 70 million deaths because a French vampire called your art shit. 70 million deaths and the rise of one of the most hateful men in history. Jesus wept.
Like, yeah, Berlin by Night is so bad it's funny in that section. And the rest of the
I
book
think
is
it's
good.
painfully bad.
The rest of the book is good, though, is the thing about Berlin by Night.
Oh, you
Like-
really do like that adventure, don't you?
Not the adventure, fuck off. No, not the adventure. But like the rest of the book about the city is fantastic. Like it gives you everything you would want to have to run Berlin at that time period. Yes, there is Vampire Himmler, but
I mean that's stupid, but I could see it.
yeah, it's stupid, but it's the kind of stupid you're like, okay,
I
okay,
probably
it's
wouldn't
White
use
Wolf.
Himmler, but you could use one of the Nazis who's disappeared that were probably offed by Mossad instead.
Borman and those kind of guys, yeah.
Yeah, just like that, I think that would have been a smarter use. Delusional Goering's fine.
Delusional Goering, who isn't actually Goering, is pretty good.
Again, the whole concept of the entire Aztec religion being founded, but no.
It just goes into the point of like, are you serious?
That's up there with the writer's obsession with Helena at that point, because they legitimately
Yeah.
created like 3 fake Helenas, which, like, god damn it.
Yeah. Then we get like a few other things kind of involved with that. But the point being,
actually, no, there's 2 more really offensive bits that you forgot. The emphasis on folk Catholicism being a veneer for neo-paganry from the point of view of a bunch of idiots who think that folk Catholicism equates to that.
yeah, I mean, it
That's
incorporates
offensive.
pagan elements, but it's still using
That's
Catholicism
violently
as the
offensive
base.
still.
And then the fact that
They use the Lady of Guadalupe. They use the Guadalupe.
They use the My Lady of
No,
Guadalupe, an apparition of the
oh,
Virgin
also-
Mary, as a
and that
fucking.
Sagoon is a mage.
That's bad, but I think Guadalupe is a million times worse.
I think that
Yeah.
Quetzalcoatl being a mage is kind of worse overall.
Oh yeah, I forgot about. God damn.
Like that, like El Dorado being a mage. That's a kind of a twist, right?
It's
That's
a fun
like
shitpost. Yeah,
it's not a city, it's a person.
that makes sense. That's
Like
fine.
that's an interesting one. That's an interesting story twist. That's an interesting idea.
It'd be like if you found out the city of Z was like maybe a vampire's attempt to recreate the second city in the Americas.
Yeah, it's a fun like pulpy adventure thing.
Either or, both work. Quetzalcoatl not only being originally a traditional mage, but then flipping to technocracy because reasons.
Yeah.
And also being basically European.
Yeah. Not a native mage at
I'm
all.
That's the most. If I say
like El
offensive thing
Dorado
about the
not
book
being
is no, the most is that this is a book about Mexico. How many Mexicans were there?
None, because most of those with Spanish names were still peninsulares.
Yeah, I didn't see a single Spanish name, and Mexico
No, there were
is
three.
most of Latin.
There were 3.
Well, yeah, yes, like you could have people from all different backgrounds in Latin America. I mean, there
Oh, by the way, the only
weren't there
confirmed
samurai in Mexico at some point?
yeah in
there
Chronicles,
was
but
one that visited, yes.
Yeah, but so it's like you can have people from all different groups in there, but nothing there screamed that these people are from Mexico.
I mean, it's the base of the Sabbat, so the Archbishop and some of the higher ups still being European makes sense. But things are fucked when the head of your Nosferatu anti-tribu is the only native Mexican you got.
Yeah.
And they had to
Like-
make a big deal about how he had to eat his father to survive the earthquake. Which that's exploit a tragedy that people lived through less than 10 years prior, you subhuman piles of filth.
Yeah, it's not even a good one. Like, I think we should probably wrap up
We
because
should,
we
but God, it's fun to talk about and shit on this book.
this is the so bad it's entertaining part of this.
Like I said,
it's just like
once you get into the mindset of just how fucking just how fucking awful this book can get, it's entertaining.
it is, because you're like, what sort of weird thing is going to occur next?
The adventure is worth it. Not to play, but just to read.
Yeah, the adventure itself is such a custom-made shitpost.
The
I would almost
vignette in
say.
Jordan is my favorite because it's like 2 pages long. There is no reason. Jordan shows up, no explanation given. Yes, goes away. No.
It's just like, okay, why was this in the book? And it's probably because someone's like, well, we wanted to do a globetrotting adventure. And someone's like, but we're making a Mexico City book. And someone's like, yeah, but we still need to have them leave Mexico City at some point.
Why don't you just have them go to Veracruz?
Yeah, why don't you just have? I don't know. Why don't they go to like from like Tijuana to like
Or
I
they
don't
have
know
to
like
go to Aztlan, which means they go to the northern Mexican Sonoran provinces on like the Arizona border.
yeah, or like they have to go to Panama for whatever reason or whatever else. Like you just you could
Well, I
do
mean,
a giant
he
thing
led
over
the
Latin
Aztecs from
America.
north. So what could be fun is, okay, here's my thing. You actually cross the border back to Arizona, which they mentioned because that's where the dead Wolfkin was.
Yeah,
And you find out they're actually sort of near the original site of the Aztec people, because we don't know exactly where they're. You can
and
kind
you've
of get
got to
away with it.
follow how
Ah.
they
And you
traveled
find
through
out,
there to Mexico in
and
order to find this giant vampire thing, and you end up
and
in
you
Mexico
low-key
City.
learn that from, like, you find an artifact that heavily hints, and this is really great for the vampires because they can go, oh fuck. You find a Bali artifact dated sometime in the 11th century. That would fuck with your head because now you got an idea of something really weird going on. But no, we didn't get that.
Nope,
Instead,
we didn't get that.
you got Jewish mages in Jordan of all places, protected by the Mossad and golems. Oh, and don't forget the bullshit entity out there that forces you to make 3 will saves per round at difficulty 10, or you go brainless.
You just go dumb. Yeah, I I want to say I hate this, but I can't because it gives you
I
the one thing it does well is the Samuel Height death. Like that is such a fucking weird, crazy fucking way to die
no,
that it's
I
like
can give it
okay,
the hate, and here's why. Because by
you
this
can give it the
logic,
hate.
I have to give changing breeds a pass because of the hummingbird shifters, which I refuse to do because that is such a minimal part of the book.
I know. I can't bring myself to hate this because this is early '90s White Wolf cheese at its finest. It is so just out there. It's a bad book. I would never recommend this to someone,
You know the
but I
weirdest?
can't.
Here's the dumbest thing in my opinion. This reads like an adventure a first-time storyteller might make up on the fly.
It does, and I
Source
bet you,
myself, because this is as dumb as stuff I have written for my first ever chronicle.
yeah, because I bet you that if you were playing this in the early '90s, this would have been kind of cool. This would have been kind of
Uh,
fun.
no, I think I would have thrown a temper tantrum and left sometime after the 3 Marauders or during Chaos Squared. I probably would have thrown a temper tantrum and left. Because there's a point
Okay,
where it's like, oh, that's bullshit, and you just leave.
okay.
Like
I can see
I
your
don't hate
logic.
on it. It's just it's the encounter design.
I can see your
Because
logic.
yeah,
I can see your feelings on that. Do I agree with it 100%? No. But I think that that's basically a wrap for Chaos Factor. Like, there's nothing more we can really say.
yeah. No fucking
Uh,
clue what we're covering next week. I'll let the fates decide what we're gonna cover next week because holy shit.
yeah, probably not more World of Darkness because this was a New Year's special basically of like, you know what, we're gonna get this one out of the way. We've been promising to do it for a little while, and
Mm,
quite frankly, it's such a fucking silly story and silly thing. You just cannot leave it alone for too long. It's the last bit we get of Sam Height for until a nod in in a Wraith book, if I remember correctly.
yep, he is mentioned to be an
And
ashtray in a Wraith book, and then the Skinner book that was released for 20th as a
and
very
then
big
one, yeah,
homage.
as a very big homage because the Skinner book, I think we covered that in
We did.
our review. It's a genuinely good adventure for either new players or people that are familiar with older World of Darkness products that are like, oh yeah, I remember that guy. Like, you know, why would you not remember that guy? I think the Valkenburg Foundation is still something that holds up today as
It
like
does.
a
It is
how do you do.
genuinely one of the best. I would say it is to Werewolf to a degree, similar to Chicago by Night. Not as good, but it is a very good nucleus to start your campaigns with.
Yeah, it gives you an action scenario, it gives you investigation scenarios, it gives you political
It
scenarios, it gives
also
you.
settles you into the world of Werewolf and allows you to actually build your group.
Yeah, it allows you to say with your group, here's what werewolf's about, here's how we play werewolf, and
And
here's
it
what
allows you
are
to form a
important.
pack.
Yeah, here's what's important for werewolf. and you can build from there. You can literally just use the first couple adventures in that book and touch nothing else in it, and it would still work really well. You can use the last adventures in that book, and it would still work really well. If you put them all together, it's still a good introductory campaign for Werewolf.
Especially if you intermix them a bit with a couple of other your own created or another like lesser adventure splats that you find.
Yeah. So
actually,
again, I think
yeah,
we should
Jin
probably
has a good idea. We'll wrap it up. That's not a bad idea. Poll time. Well,
yeah, poll time. What do you want to see next? Would you want to see suffering with us returning to something incredibly terrible? Like, I don't know. Have you guys finished Hardwired Island yet?
we did. Yeah, we did.
Did we
Don't they have
decided
an
to?
expansion?
Oh God.
I don't care.
Oh God.
I made a point to forget it existed until now. I mean, if
I
you
think
really
they
want
do.
suffering, I'm gonna drag your ass to the Black Pyramid of Chult.
Oh no, no.
I'm not doing it this month.
Not
Fuck
the
no.
Chult.
No, not the Chult. Not the
Um,
Chult, please. Ah.
You know what? Let's devise it up on the Discord. Probably at a time when we're probably not all tired.
We will host a poll on the Discord sometime this Monday. The Discord should be in the link in the description below. To any newcomers, feel free to like, subscribe, all that jazz. And with that, the story of Sam Hike can end. Mexico City is on fire, but it always is, so it's fine. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Everything's okay.
And well, a lot of werewolves, mages, vampires, they all died, but it's okay.
They all died. They all fucking died. Yeah. It's okay because Sam Hate is finally dead. The end of Revenge, the end of Return of the Jedi is happening. And good night to everyone.